To lead the Skol chant and sound the Gjallarhorn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol Show. I'm Fish. With me, as always, I have Mr. Positivity, Cody Bowden. He who greets with smoke, Skolful Shack. And Keith, our captain, he's going to be missing for most of the evening. He's attending a concert. Sepultura is opening up for Taylor Swift. And that way him and the wife are happy. But welcome to our 20th off-season show of the year. We'll be here every week during the off-season. We're going to get through this abyss together, guys. Tonight, we've got some Skol news, way too early expectations, hot routes around the Gjallarhorn. We're also going to bring a Bears fan on, one of my coworkers, and predict their schedule. And, of course, we've got our hot takes. We'll also have the lines open all show for those who want to come on and give some takes. And we're going to lead it off with something that happened this week, fellas. It's not Vikings related, but I think we're going to bring it around there. Travis Hunter got married to his high school sweetheart. And the most shocking news was no prenup. Fellas, do you have empathy for him, or do you think, you dumbass? How do you feel about that?
I think in the wise words of Mr. Ye, he said, we want prenup. We want prenup. Yeah, it's because it's something you need to have. Because when she leave your ass, she going to leave with half.
That's right. That's an anthem right there.
But I'm hoping it's for his sake, since he's a great dude. I'm hoping it's genuine love. But this isn't no movie. Love has its up and down. So I'm just hoping for his sake that it's their bond is strong.
Yeah, Cody, is this one of those things that make you go,
I'll find out about it when I'm scrolling Facebook about something bad happening. I mean, what was that? There was a story that went out there, made him wait in the car while she was doing some things somewhere. I mean, good for him getting married, young kid. Probably jumped on it too fast, like how we say, like as the Army, when you first come to the Army and then you start finally getting money and those big paychecks, people they'll go out and they'll go buy this $60,000 Camaro or Challenger, and then it's at 20% APR and they can't even afford it. So hopefully he can afford this one, and he might have to get paid like a wide receiver and a cornerback at the same time here in 5 years just to keep up with it.
I mean, I've got a little empathy for him. I was in love once. I was not exactly treated correctly, and I looked past some things. But yeah, I think he set himself up for failure. I still say that Bill Burr has the greatest skit in the world about these types of situations, and it should just be part of the tutorial for when you join the NFL as a rookie. But it kind of reminds me of, some things where we were scratching our heads in the off season. Vikings related. Like a couple of years ago, it was JJ got a woman pregnant. And I'm sure that if y'all reach back into the memory banks, you can think of some things where you were like, what? Why? Shaq, what sticks out in your head?
About JJ again.
Well, just anything that happened, that wasn't happening on the football field for the Vikings where you were like, oh my gosh, why?
I'll have to say, I would say that the Teddy Bridgewater injury right during preseason. It's like, we got that feel good for the first preseason game, like Teddy's finally showing something. And then before the second preseason game, Teddy Bridgewater caught off the field, a non-contact injury. And I'm like, well, so much for being a Vikings fan. We build the hype up, and that end of the year shit we talk about where we get so much hype and then it just crumbles. It came second week of preseason. But luckily for us, I know Keith's not here. We somehow got Sam Bradford the year after. Well, the same season, and then we got Case Keenum the year after. So,
Cody, Shaq don't know how to gossip. Lay something juicy on me. None of this football-related crap.
Well, so in quarterbacks for the Minnesota Vikings is such a long and dark history. We've only drafted a quarterback in the first round, I think 6 times in the 63 years of this franchise. I feel good about this offseason because of who we got at quarterback right now. There's no more worrying about, oh man, we lost Teddy Bridgewater and now we got to go get Sam Bradford. Oh, we just signed Kirk Cousins to this massive contract and he sucks. Or who was another one? Oh, probably the biggest one in my opinion is the Brett Favre. Is he or is he not coming back to us? Like, what's going to happen here? We just came off a disappointing, heartbreaking NFC Championship game against the Saints. Hey, we want to bring Brett back and let's run it back. We can do it again. We had the same team, really good team. And then Brett comes back and he's what Brett Favre should have been that year, just off a cliff, just completely done with his career. I'm just happy that we have no more off-season drama or issues going on with us right now. Knock on some wood, right? And we got a quarterback that is in place to take this team to where it needs to be finally, and only having it be the 6th time in franchise history when we drafted a quarterback in the first round.
Well, I think Cody just answered my next question that I was going to ask you guys. But in the Skol news, we had our voluntary OTAs this week. JJ McCarthy began the camp as QB1. Journey to Canton has begun. Mark it down. You guys excited for this? You ready?
For OTAs? I'm excited for it. It's finally football's here. But it's kind of like just a little bit of the appetizer before the appetizer. It's the chips you get at the Mexican restaurant before you get the queso dip. It's just, all right, it's just chips and salsa here, well, whatever. Then the queso comes, and that's probably what preseason's going to be about, right? And then the meal comes. I'm more excited and wanting to see the meal first because I want to see JJ McCarthy in a no-shit live-action scenario where he's playing against first-stringers, right, and high-level dudes. And that first game, a divisional game on primetime, Monday Night Football, the biggest stage that you can have to premiere yourself, man, it gives me goosebumps. I'm ready for it. And this OTAs is just like that chips and salsa you get at the restaurant because the rest of the food is about to be banging.
Hey, Shaq, Justin Jefferson showed up to OTAs for the first time since 22. Is this that queso dip with them chips? Or is this just that salsa?
It's both, Fish. What's funny? That Justin Jefferson showed up to OTAs, but who didn't show up to our live today?
Oh.
What a coincidence.
Oh.
He's listening too. He's like,
he's commenting.
So, but keeping it back on the OTA side, it's great to have. I think they talk about 100% team was at the OTAs, whether it be we have it from injuries with Christian Darrisaw and Will Fries, even Ryan Kelly all coming back. And it just shows that what we have going on, we're building from year after year after year. I think Justin Jefferson believes in the direction of KOC, and that even though he got the contract and he don't have to be here because he's not getting paid for the workout bonus, it just shows that he's ready to take that next step in being a leader, helping JJ McCarthy develop a chemistry early on in the season. And the best part is during OTAs is when they do the install of the offense. Kick out the wrinkles of last year, what was bad, what was good, and work on it. I think I was watching a KOC interview. He was talking about is things that JJ McCarthy knows that KOC didn't know he knew. And then there's things that JJ McCarthy didn't know that KOC didn't know. So it's kind of like he wants to get all that information out now before preseason, before we even get to mandatory minicamp, because it gives him time to flush out all the things that JJ McCarthy knows. Because right now he only had the VR training, so he kind of got his head in there, but he has to, getting all the first team reps is showing, making him a better quarterback.
Let me bring T-Bass on with us. He's chomping at the bit. What up, T-Bass?
Hey, guys. I just want to ask you guys a quick question, your opinion. Mm-hmm. I'll let you guys go on with the show. All right. So, we've talked, everybody's talked, for a long time, what the Vikings need to improve to take to that next level. They have to run the ball better. They need an offensive line, a young quarterback. But do you guys think something that's been missing, I think, with the Vikings for a while now, is that guy or that couple of guys that will get in a guy's face when he knows he's not performing up to where he should? Get your head out of your ass, or somebody in offense telling the defense guy, make a damn stop, get us the damn ball back. And if JJ's a leader, he's gonna fill some of that. But I'm talking about the fiery guy, a guy that might not be scared to get in a fight and turn the game around, momentum, things like that. And if it is missing, and if you think that, like me, that's like an important aspect of having a championship team, who could be some of those guys that could fill that point?
Well, the only member of our offense that looks like he could be an axe murderer is our new center, Ryan Kelly. It'd be nice if he were to just get into some people's grills and say, shape up or sit down. Other than that, I'm not really overly familiar with the personalities. But the other thing is me personally, I think that there's a bit too much of a kumbaya coexistence from the top down. Maybe under Zimmer, we might have been able to find somebody to do that because, Zimmer's a son of a bitch. But with KOC and then with it all being, I don't know that enforcer type guy, other than maybe Hitman, would be able to exist.
He doesn't have that personality,
I know.
Goes out and does.
But he's got the longevity. He's got that seniority where he could probably say stuff like that and get away with it. Other than that, I don't know. But let me ask you a question, T-Bass. I saw something right before we started that said KOC said that every single player for the Minnesota Vikings is at voluntary OTAs. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, that's very important because I think I said this on a few other sites. Team looks great on paper, but there's a lot of new pieces of the puzzle, and it's going to take a little time to gel. It's going to. It's going to take JJ McCarthy time to gel with the receivers and stuff. It might be 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Hopefully it goes quickly, but putting the stuff on paper and then translate the field. They're going to need time to gel.
Mm-hmm. I think having everybody here for this offseason, every single player, I think it stems from last year. And that's even going with the people that just came here, the players that just came here, right? We won 14 games with a busted quarterback in Sam Darnold. And people bought into that. I think the league players that are coming to free agency finally bought into that. Oh, Minnesota's a destination place because look what they just did with Sam Darnold and that defense that was pieced together with a very aggressive coach. Like they want to see that, and that's going to bring more people in there. And seeing all those players come in for this OTA, volunteer OTAs, it's saying something. We have bought in.
Yeah, and it might be me being an older person. I just think it's missing. That team is all right. So this, like I said, this is probably different thoughts for younger fans and stuff. But I think, when you see dance celebrations after a touchdown, when it's maybe a close game or even when they're losing, it's not, to me, it's not like promoting the team concept. Just give the ref the ball. Let's get back in the game. I'd like to see more of a step on your throat killer instinct that I think the Vikings are lacking, that championship teams need. And I'd like to see a more overall team mentality. You know, all these press conferences and stuff, not one player, I don't think, stated, last year left a really bad taste in my mouth. 114 games, got killed in the playoffs. Not one of them's mentioned that. That really pissed me off. That we had such a great season and we got beat in the first round. And I just get frustrated when nothing's talked about that, but you hear Justin Jefferson's interested in the flag football Olympics. How about focusing on the Lombardi Trophy? It just doesn't seem like there's killer instinct all around team continuity on this squad.
So if you look back,
there's probably got to be a balance though, because you know how they say the NFL every time they pass a rule is the no fun league. They need to be able to have some fun playing the golf, but I don't think that the huge orchestrated celebration after a turnover, I think it's a bit much. There's got to be some sort of balance in that because, yeah, I'm all for scoring a touchdown, handing the ball off to the official and getting back to it, but I also like a little trash talk, man. I like some heat.
That leader, I think that you're trying to find, right? It has to begin with the quarterback. That has to be the guy. The quarterback has to be that vocal leader, right? If you look at all the great quarterbacks, like expression Tom Brady. Tom Brady, if something fails, a unit fails, like his offensive line, what's he in? He's in their faces, about 900 pounds worth of beef, and he's what is he, 210? All 210 pounds of him is screaming in their faces saying, hey, you're doing your job poorly. You need to do your job. And I think it has to start with the quarterback. You see quarterbacks on the field it up all day with cornerbacks and linebackers and defense ends. Who is a defense end? Patrick Mahomes, him and Max Crosby going after it. Max Crosby's a bad man, but Patrick Mahomes knows who he is. He's a great, great quarterback, and he's a leader, and he chirps. And when he chirps, the team gets behind that because they see, hey, the quarterback is the leader of this team, and it has to start with JJ McCarthy. Can he be it? I think so.
And the thing I think important note on that, Cody, is he's going to have to start with chirping at his opponents. If he leads off at chirping at his teammates, he'll have to demonstrate a serious level of excellence real fast, because if not, if he screws up, the team implodes because they start coming back at him. But if he takes a sack from somebody and he gets up and he starts talking smack back to him, he'll start to be making deposits into that account where when it's time for him to mouth off and correct one of his teammates, they'll be like, oh, yeah.
When that happens, we better see alignment stepping in. I want to see that.
And you'll see that.
All of them,
yeah. So I'll say you also brought up you wanted to see one of the players get mad at the fact that we lost to the Rams. I think Jonathan Grenard, he's walking around with a slogan on his shirt, need to do more. Basically because the goal wasn't to reach the playoffs. The goal was actually to, make it to the Super Bowl and win it. So right now he's walking around OTAs with need to do more shirt. Hopefully he could be one of the veterans. Since he is getting paid on the defense, he needs to help other players step up with him.
Actually, the mantra, Shaq, the mantra is more is required.
Oh, more is required.
Great. Good. Glad they're talking.
He made a tweet after the first round playoff loss, like Shaq was saying. He wants to use that slogan to elevate the team's performance and achieve greater success. And sometimes it's nice, like I've heard all in or remember a few years ago when it was why not us, but this is a more focused mantra. And they're using it on their workout t-shirts.
I hope that mantra goes around because I really.
Well, it's going to have to be the team's mindset because they're going to have to be able to say it to each other. But do you think that it can have a plausible effect, Cody? I'm going to ask you to lead us off on this one because you're a leader of men. Do you think something like this can actually affect behavior, make them move to a higher level?
Yes, I think so, because you get out there as a leader, right? And let's say you're doing some physical training and you want to be always ahead of your dudes out there, right? You want to be number one in everything as a leader, right? But what makes you happier as a leader is seeing one of your dudes catch you or he beats you. Because what does that put inside your mindset, right? Oh, I got to get better. So then he gets better. So it feeds off each other, right? People will circle around that and gather around that because they know that you're trying your ass off out there. You're all fired up. They feel like it's a letdown if they don't do this same thing, right? So
if everyone's playing as a team,
mm-hmm.
If everybody's playing as a team and not as individuals, that is exactly right. If you have a true team, nobody's going to want to let the other down. You're exactly right. So that's great to hear. Hopefully Bernard, jumps up and he's that leader on defense.
And I think he's trying to change the mantra. Like Minnesota's mantra. We just had heartbreak yesterday with the Timberwolves, right? Oh, the most heartbreaking franchise. This and that. Woe is me. Let's feel bad for Minnesota sports teams. No, don't quit feeling bad. Fuck that. Hey, you made it. Now get better. You lost the conference championship game. Good. Get better. All right.
Thank you.
Improvement. There's a guy out there named Jocko Willink, right? Everything that bad happens, he always says good. All right. He says good for reason. Didn't get the equipment you needed. Good. We'll use the things that we have now. Right. Didn't get that job. Good. Get better. Go get it next time. Just keep getting better. All right. Good. We lost in the conference championships.
Thank you. Because, I'm a longtime huge Chicago Cubs fan. Also,
I'm sorry.
And if you asked me 25 years ago who would probably win a championship first, I would say the Vikings had a better chance. And, me being a Cub fan my whole life, I used to hate that term, the lovable loser. I used to hate it. It just used to burn my ass. Why you have the word losers in that, it's nothing to be proud of. And I hate hearing people say the Vikings have such a great, one of the highest win percentages in the NFL without a champion. Well, that's not a good thing. Let's go out there and get it.
Yeah. You know what I think the mantra should be is we ain't won shit yet. So that way when we beat the Packers in week 16, instead of throwing a champagne party, whoa, we ain't won shit yet.
Well, and that's like a fundamental of a team that's focused. Last year I got a really bad feeling before the Detroit game when they had that big thing in the pregame with Cam Bynum, and all he was talking about is how he's studying dance moves in his celebration. And I'm like, that's not a guy that's focused on this game. When he's and like, was there anybody on the team, anybody on the coaching staff that pulled that man over and said, listen, get your head out of your ass?
What up, Timmy? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, guys.
Hey, did you notice anything press conference wise or anything from OTAs you want to espouse upon us, sir?
I'm just kind of surprised everybody showed up for OTAs and stuff. It's probably the first time in the longest time in 20 years, that everybody showed up to get to know everybody, and then to get a grip on a new chance to get to February. So
Yeah.
that's
It could be a good symbol of the team trying to make a push forward, right? Hey man,
yeah, everybody still disrespects us anyways, but we're still going to be Viking fans. It doesn't matter what they say.
Do you think
Shaq,
everybody's showing up at training? Whoops, sorry. Do you guys think everybody showing up at training camp, is that a major impact because of JJ McCarthy? You think?
No, I think
Go
it's
ahead,
a nice
Shaq.
I think JJ is going to be a
Shaq,
good
do you
leader
think
for
that
the
in
whole
this
team.
game of
That's why
inches,
everybody showed up.
Shaq, do you think that in this game of inches, something as simple as everybody showing up to OTAs can pay off with a ripple effect towards the end of the season?
Yes, unless you're just an elite team where you don't have to show up to OTAs. The goal is to always get better because every team technically gets better every year. Even if their record don't show it, every team is better than they was last year. And it's like, in order for the Vikings to take that next step, it has to be instantaneous. Like, say it's 4th and inches. JJ McCarthy, he could learn right now the best play to get those inches. Maybe, KOC could come up with something creative and we could do a hurry up offense instead of him having to say a whole play and JJ McCarthy don't know that whole play. So since we're doing it all installs, voluntary OTAs, we can come up with many options. So it's not just one play for one instance. There's multiple options we could go to when we need to gain a yard, or when the run game not working, or when the pass game not working. He can basically work on adjustments. So the more reps you get, the better. And especially having all your starters do it early.
4th and inches, you QB sneak it. If you don't get it, you tip your hat and say, you guys better. But I want to see a QB sneak 4th and inches.
That'd be nice if would it be nice if JJ had his little, audibles on his arm and stuff. Go, we're going to change players real quick. Things like that.
4th and inches, if we're not doing a halfback jump pass, I'm not in. So fellas, a little bit of a new development in the NFL is that the NFL is finally going to give offensive linemen an award. And as much been known around the league, all the sayings about offensive linemen being the unsung heroes, and you only know an offensive lineman is good if you never hear his name called because he's not being penalized. And we really didn't get a chance to mention it last week, but the NFL added the Protector Award, which will go to the O-Lineman of the Year. Deion Dawkins of the Bills may be the front runner since he's the one that championed the idea. Why don't you lead us off, Timmy? How do you feel about the big guys getting an award of their own?
I think it'd be all right. The offense and defense needs more. How you say that? More achievement of what they're doing,
recognition
to kind of protect the quarterback, or what they're, the plays that they're doing and things. To get it more of a. It's just defensive year and the offensive year. They just need more of a couple more words that honors, like MVP for the offense or something. Just sort of, instead of being the quarterback all the time, or just more of a group thing. It's
Cody,
something like that.
How are they going to metric this?
See, that's what I'm worried about.
I'm worried about the name right off.
Yeah, like if you if you never hear that offensive lineman's name, that means he's doing good, right? He's doing really good out there. But again, if you never hear that offensive lineman's name, he's not getting an award either, right? So, like, I think the first few years it's going to be a popularity vote, basically. Like, who's the left tackle for the Niners? That's a nasty.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams, and he might win in the first 2 years, like just because he's a household name. He's been an all-pro every single year, and they don't even need to look at stats. Like, you can have Darrisaw out there, same position, and he's only given up 1 sack, while Trent Williams out there giving up 2 sacks, but Trent Williams is going to get the award because he's more of a household name. And then what, Darrisaw?
So you think this is going to be more like a Pro Bowl thing to start off with?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be too focused on the tackles. I mean, just the name, Protector of the Year, that's just focused on the tackles right there. If this was an award, let's say 25 years ago, don't tell me Randall McDaniel wasn't the best lineman in football at the time. But if the focus is on offensive tackles with the Protector of the Year, tackles are the quarterback's protector. I just think it should be called Offensive Lineman of the Year and might focus off of the tackles and give some of the guards and centers credit.
I think King of the Fat Guys should be taken into consideration.
I think it's
Shaq, do you think any of our Vikings stand a chance?
I do. To answer a quick question, how they could do the metric, I was gonna say they could just use PFF. Just give the award to the top.
Or use the stat. Use the stat.
But on a serious note, you said any Vikings
like
player,
they do for the MVP, stat.
I would say Darrisaw or Will Fries. Because Darrisaw been putting out a lot of good tape. Like, if we just watch Darrisaw block, it's rare that he gets beat, and it's only when it's going against like top tier pass rushers like Michael Parsons. Other than that, not every team got a Michael Parsons, so it's kind of like all we gotta do is play the matchups, and more time. Now I say 8 times out of 10, Darrisaw is winning, and he's getting better. The only issue is his health. But if he could stay healthy and continue the path he's on, I can see him winning it.
So that the stay healthy part, that's an T-Bass. Do you think that there should be a cutoff on the amount of games played to qualify? Because I don't know any of the particulars of this.
Well, I mean, I would hope people that vote for this take that into consideration. Question popped into my head. I don't follow these at the Vikings have the league. Has Darrisaw been at the training facility during OTA?
Well, from what I understand, every single Viking is there for OTAs.
I know he's
not, but he's there.
Okay, good. Well, good. I mean, what are they saying he's expected to be back?
That's a scary thing. There's no word.
They didn't.
Yeah. Didn't he do his ACL and MCL? Both. Mm-hmm. I don't expect him back at least week 4. I'm thinking, if not for like that's a nasty injury for a big guy.
Logan Brown starting left tackle.
I think they should just do it as a fan vote, like popular fan vote for this award.
Yeah, you won't see a Viking
fan vote on.
Yeah, the fan votes is always a popular. I'm more for let the players vote for it. They know who's the best.
Or let the owners vote on it.
No.
The owners vote.
The owners don't pay attention to nothing but money.
If it's an award the players vote for, they would get it right almost every time.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was the owner and the owners were voting, I'd be voting for like the Lions left tackle to win it every single year, because if he's got this stack of awards, they're going to have to pay that guy a lot of money, So that's who I'd vote. I'd be sabotaging the team or something.
They go back to paying that money. That's the only thing they're paying attention to.
In case you're joining us after the intro and you're wondering, where's our captain? Keith is out having a night out, having a good time. I think he's at a concert, but he's listening in. He's around. Don't worry. He's punching air when we screw up. Y'all,
my watching the show at the same time that.
Can I ask you
he
guys
actually
a question?
is. He's listening in.
Can I ask you guys a question? You guys were talking about a couple shows ago about changing the playoff format by your record. Here's the problem I have with that, and see if you guys agree with this. True or false? Divisional games are always tougher than non-divisional games.
They're always closer.
They're always tougher games because, okay, so you have to put importance on winning divisional games. So that puts importance on winning the division. So I say keep it like it is. You just can't go by records because somebody might play in a bad division. I mean, look at the Vikings. When I was growing up in the 70s, the NFC Central sucked. And you just woke up and say, oh, okay, the season started. There's a guaranteed 6 wins for the Vikings right off the top. Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago all sucked. And then they threw in Tampa Bay. So it was like, okay, there's 8 games on your schedule that are cakewalks. So, I mean, you can't really go by – I know it's tough when you're a fan of a team that wins 14 games, but I'm still a firm believer is you can't win the division, hit the road when it comes to playoffs.
And speaking of last week, we predicted the schedule as a group. We went 15-2 as a group.
What?
In all of our individual predictions, though, we had us winning 11 or more games, which should be a playoff team. So, Cody, I'm going to start with you, and we're just going to go clockwise around, guys. What are your expectations for this season? Is it Super Bowl a bust? Are you looking to take a next step? Go ahead and lead us off, Cody.
So my expectations every single year is a Super Bowl because the playoffs, it's just an extension of the season, right? The only thing you get for losing in the playoffs is a later draft pick. Doesn't really mean something. You're picking again in the 24 or the 22 pick, like I like people's little mantras they got there. Just make the playoffs. Just make the playoffs. And then what? How about make the Super Bowl? Like we want to change the mantra on here in Minnesota. So I'm all about the expectations being a Super Bowl every single year. Because, again, the playoffs is an extension of the season, right? Who cares if you won 14 games? Those 14 games don't matter anymore. You're 0-0 now in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. If you lose in the playoffs, guess what? You're under 500. You're 0-1. You're a loser, right, at the end of the day. So my expectations this year is going to be 11 wins. All right, I had us 11 wins. I think we're going to knock Chicago and we're going to knock Green Bay out in back-to-back weeks from their playoffs. And a 10-win team will not make the playoffs this year. One 10-win team won't. And I want to see JJ McCarthy out there expectation-wise to be at least hovering above the 3,200-yard mark, right? And I expect his touchdowns to be 20 and his interceptions to be up in either the 10s or the low teens.
What do you say, Shaq? What kind of expectations you have?
I want to agree with Cody. It should be Super Bowl. It's just I feel like those expectations is just way too high for JJ McCarthy right now because even if he would have to be, I say, not just the best quarterback in last draft, but he'll have to be playing like a top 5 quarterback to get this team to the Super Bowl. And it's like putting that high of expectations on, a quarterback who hasn't started yet, but, we all believe in because we have the offense. It's just I can't put those full expectations on him to start his first year. It's like, I want him to build up towards it. It'd be awesome if he, just go all out, best quarterback in the NFL. But that's high-ass expectations for his first year. So, just give me a playoff win and make it look like it's not his fault that we lost the playoffs. It was the Vikings. We lost because of the Vikings. He did everything he could, but we couldn't help him. So we know that at least we got our franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just waiting for the sequel every single year. That's how I feel about it. You know, I already know how the ending's kind of gonna go. You know, so I'm gonna check the movie out anyways. I'm only really caring about what's going to be in the sequel, and then after that, you're constantly waiting for sequels. You know,
I'm just tired of being a quarterback away.
Yeah.
T-Bass, what kind of expectations do you have?
Well, you going through the schedule, I got them a baseline of 11 wins with 3 games I call coin toss games that can go either way. So what I'm looking for, I'm not being overly hyped and expecting a Super Bowl McCarthy's first year. I want to see the progression of a young quarterback. I want to play all 17 games. And as I said, I want to see this team play more, in my eyes, as a team. And also, I want to see them starting to win big, meaningful end of this regular season game, which means beating a team like Detroit second time around. Their track record since Kevin O'Connell, if you remove the Bears, is horrendous. Playing a team the second time around in the season. And
my boy Reed's in the green room hearing all this Bear slander. He gonna come on with some fire.
Well, no, I mean, the Vikings have gotten lucky schedule-wise the last 2 or 3 years, playing the Bears at the end of the year when they cared more about getting that next year's draft pick than winning a game. And they were still close games. Green Bay, I mean, they, obviously the Rams and Giants were the second time around in a season. They lost. Detroit, they've lost every time the second time around the last 3 years. Green Bay, I think they're I know they beat them once, maybe twice. So they need to improve in that the end of the year, finishing out the season and playing well. And but if they do go to the playoffs, if they do win, if they get to the Super Bowl, that's going to be great. But I just want to see that progression of JJ McCarthy getting used to the speed of the NFL, getting used to the receivers and playing all 17 games.
What up, Timmy? What are your expectations, buddy?
I think he's going to be similar to Mahomes when he started his sophomore year. I think he's going to break some of those records that everybody.
My man, coming with the smoke. Timmy said, "We're not doing all this moderation shit."
That's basically on the same page as Cody.
I hear you there. So
I feel he's going to be just like Mahomes, in his sophomore year. He might be even better than Mahomes.
Now I got a question. He should be kind of better. Look at the team that we surrounded him with, like the players. This team is already loaded. The question mark is at the quarterback, right? Now, let's say JJ McCarthy does not meet these expectations, what are you doing in the offseason next year?
Well, if he's breaking records, we're not running the ball.
So my expectations for this year, and I've never been this type of person, but my expectation is 1-0.
Super Bowls?
So 1-0, baby.
I think JJ more of a. That's why we picked up what's his name for that other running back.
Mason.
And hey, I got to bring on a special guest real quick, guys. Hold on just a second. Welcome to the show, Keith.
What?
Well, thanks for having me.
Hey,
Shaq was talking that smack, so I was like, I had to leave my kids and my family and get on here.
What time is it over there? I thought Taylor Swift concerts were going around 9 or 8.
It wasn't Taylor Swift.
He just got home.
It was little Hanson, not Taylor Swift.
Oh, nice. You got video.
And luckily when she was done, she was hungry. My other daughter was hungry. My wife was hungry. It's like, so we don't really need to stay and watch everybody else, right? We can just leave, right? Yeah. All right, let's go because we need to eat. That's the only reason I want to leave because everybody wants to eat.
Yeah, Keith's like, I got to get back to my baby.
Oh man.
So, yeah. But go on.
No, I was just pointing out if JJ McCarthy is breaking records this year, we're obviously not running the ball because that means he's throwing a lot.
Oh, I didn't hear that. What I heard was Cody saying if JJ McCarthy has a down year, he's ready to replace him this offseason.
With the team that's around him right now. The next year's team isn't going to be as good as this year's team.
Okay, but so if he doesn't ball out, then he's a bust.
No. If he doesn't bowl at all, let's say that, or let's say he takes it and we're under 500. We go 8 and 9, or we go 7 and 10 with the team that's around him right now. What is your expectations now for JJ McCarthy? Are you going to ready to move on from him?
No.
You just all right. So with the weaker team next year, he's going to play.
Am I going to be disappointed? Yes, but am I going to be like, to throw him out? Like this is not going to work. No, and it's also going to depend like how it looks. It also depends how it looks.
If it looks like Zach Wilson's first year, what are you doing?
I can't even fathom that, to be honest. You look better in the half of you look better in the half of preseason than Zach Wilson ever looked.
It's the expectations on this kid is so high. I mean, expectations are
good.
Way.
It should be. They should be.
Well,
he wants that smoke. He wants that smoke. He thrives off of that.
I'm just worried about, for the fans' perspective, is like we're talking about. If they win 10 games and don't make the playoffs and stuff, people are going to be like, I mean, first year starter, 10 wins. I mean, it's crazy, comparing him to Mahomes already and stuff. I just want to see.
You let this guy on the show? You let this guy on the show.
I let that guy on the show.
The guy who said this. You let him on the show.
Hey, I said that on draft night, but I also have to say it. If
I were wearing a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey,
I got to represent. And I still time.
You got to represent.
Yeah.
Represent.
Shaq out here doing the Lord's work.
I just say, JJ McCarthy, for him to, are we saying he has to be playing like Mahomes? Because for a quarterback to take his team to a Super Bowl or just win a playoff game, that's pretty much. Can we say that's pretty much put him in top 10 category?
I would. Yeah, I mean that's great for his first
win a playoff game.
Yeah, that's great.
I think he breaks records. Plus, he gets MVP this year. JJ McCarthy.
Cody, I got that 2 years ago.
Doesn't that hurt?
Nah, he'll stay.
It's a lot of money.
Probably 20.
But I'm really not worried about him busting. Like, I think he's gonna be really good, and I'm not gonna gauge that. Oh, it's gonna sound bad, but I'm not gonna really gauge that on the wins and losses because people like to say that wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat. So I mean, depends on what else is going on. And I've asked you guys this question last week. Would you rather us, be contenders and JJ looks bad, or we have a down season but JJ looks good? And most people prefer that we had a down season but JJ looks good. Yes. So there is a world where JJ looks good, but as a team, we don't meet expectations.
Yeah, then if JJ looks good and our record is down, that means it wasn't on JJ. It was on the rest of the team that we surrounded.
It was on the 35-year-old free agents that we were banking on.
But hey, that's fine, because what do we have now with JJ McCarthy? We don't have to surround him with a bunch of talent like we did. If he had a down.
I'm sorry. What? Can you say that again? I'm gonna listen with my good ear.
I'm not saying it won't work, Fish. I'm just saying there might be another out, not just our 22-year-old quarterback.
I don't want to see him run a lot.
That pressure. That's why we surrounded him with a little better players, so we can run the football. So he doesn't have to pass as much.
I don't want to see him running. I do not want to see him running.
No, but you will.
I
I kind of do, but
That
I want
Isaiah,
to
Isaiah, the one that's right behind AJ Jones for
Jordan
this
Mason.
coming
You're
season.
talking about Jordan Mason?
Here's the thing people
Yeah.
don't realize too. Quarterbacks have to get used to the speed of the game when they're running too. Sometimes they don't get down quick enough and they get hit because they're not used to the speed of.
Nah, I want him hit the truck
running.
stick and run a safety over.
Well,
Lost
I
weight.
don't want to see my
a couple of those
quarterback.
edges. Boom!
He gotta be dual threat. In order for this
Like
offense to
a
work, to KOC full potential, the run game has to be working, the pass game has to be working, and JJ McCarthy is gonna have to use his legs so the defense don't know what to stop. And KOC always have to have the edge on the defense. If they don't know how to stop our attack, and he just knows what play to call and always gonna work 9 times out of 10, we should be scoring
Especially
points.
that Bears defense.
I think KOC gives him the playbook, the play calling this year to kind of show that he can do it with play calling himself, like they do for Brett Favre and the older guys used to. You know, just give him the play calling and let him. If he messes up on a play, it'll be on him. You know, instead of being on the coach.
So we kind of already have an idea how KOC runs his offenses because he has a script, right? And he shows the quarterback. We found this out last year. He shows the quarterback the script and he tells him, "Hey, circle ones you don't like, right? And do this for ones you do like on the play script, right?" And then they'll go through those plays and they'll erase those plays that they're not comfortable with. And that's how you see KOC's script running out. And the Vikings, are a play action team. So you have to involve that play action.
Vikings are a great script team. I mean, they're awesome off that script. And then it kind of flattens out or goes down. And then after.
Speaking of our future Hall of Fame quarterback who's going to run wild, you know, PFF has gone ahead and ranked him 21st out of all the starting quarterbacks that are projected in the league. And if y'all feel like that's wrong or any of y'all scratching your head over it, Lincoln, we barely heard you talk. So
21st. I'd say he's 32nd.
I think that's better than
proven anything.
60th or something, you know.
Not saying that it's a diss against him. I'm just saying I'd say he's 32nd.
No NFL stats.
Lincoln, you're saying until he takes a snap in a live football game, you can't rank him above everybody? Is that what you're trying to say, buddy?
Correct.
I think it's fair rank, 21st or low.
So you'd rather have Kenny Pickett?
No, I'm not saying that he's better. I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett is better. I'm just saying it's unfair to rate him when we haven't seen
Nothing to rate him off. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to rake him off of.
I mean,
Besides
you can go
We didn't see that first half of that preseason game like we did.
No. I don't get me wrong. That was some good reps that he had, but I also believe that they had a chance to sit him for the year and they took it. Why not?
Let's be honest. The preseason game, the second touchdown pass, I would expect a backup quarterback in high school to make that pass. So, you know, everybody talks about that preseason game. The first pass for a touchdown was beautiful. The second pass was a nothing burger. The guy was wide open.
Well, then don't you expect him to make that throw?
Well, damn it for him making the play he should make.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Damn it, JJ, why don't you do a backflip then throw it?
Yeah, no, if the guy's wide open, then you expect him to make the back.
I'm just saying, everybody says, you know, great, but I mean, that was nothing. It was the guy was standing wide open. I mean, is that an amazing feat?
No, but you should also be expected to make that pass.
So forget preseason. You could go by college and what KOC has been coaching. KOC, he hasn't had really bad quarterback play for a long time. If it was a quarterback he started with during the season, he got the best out of Kirk. He got the best he could have out of Dobbs and Mullins and Sam Darnold. And it's like, let him develop McCarthy. McCarthy wasn't a bad quarterback coming out of college, so it's not like he has to learn so much.
I mean, I am a little disappointed that he was ranked below Caleb Williams.
It's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Sure.
Oh,
He's ranked ahead of Caleb Williams.
Wait,
is
what?
he?
Caleb Williams is ranked 24th.
All right, I don't.
Wow.
You see how numbers work?
And that's why you don't listen to PFF.
Hey, do you think that
Why?
ranking?
Can
do
you
think that-
imagine that? Caleb Williams is a worse quarterback than JJ McCarthy.
And one
Sam
hasn't even taken
Darnold's
a
Sam
snap.
Darnold's 26.
I believe
Man.
that. I
Hey,
believe that.
do you think that 21st ranking of JJ McCarthy without
I
playing
think I
has
actually like
something to
this
do
list
with
now.
has something to do with Kevin O'Connell as our head coach?
For sure.
Probably for sure. I just don't like that he got ranked so high because he's never taken a snap in the regular season game. Yeah, he's taken preseason reps, but that's not the same. That's two different games.
But we're the same people that say he's better than Sam Darnold.
And Kirk.
Well, to
And
be fair,
So him not
Kirk's
taking
not
a
even on
snap
this list
doesn't
because
really
Kirk is not a
matter.
starter in this league.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Him not taking a snap doesn't matter because we're saying he's better than Sam Darnold already. Like,
all right, to be fair, Sam Darnold is a bust.
Shaq, keep your left up.
I don't know if they're
Shaq.
saying that he's better because if Sam
Well,
Darnold's
he's been winning
contract was the same as
15
JJ McCarthy's, they might have kept him. You know, there's
Well,
levels to this.
where's Sam Darnold ranked at compared to JJ McCarthy?
No, but teams
26.
26.
Because he doesn't have KOC either.
Doesn't have
This
KOC.
team lost that game against the Lions. It wasn't Sam Darnold.
No, it was Sam Darnold. Look at the film.
All right.
Look at the
So
film.
let me ask you guys a question about KO. Let me ask you guys a question about
I have
KOC
a controversial
and the
topic for
quarterback.
everybody right now. It's
Hey,
gonna
tell
be
your
nice.
roommate to get on or shut up.
So KOC and the quarterback. Here's a question. Let's say we take
I
Justin
can't
Jefferson.
wait for Sam Darnold to win 16 games for the Seahawks, and JJ McCarthy is the new fucking Christian Ponder.
Hey, Lincoln, we're not trying to watch you get head right now. We're trying to talk about
I-
football.
Let's say
That's not me.
let's say we take Justin Jefferson off of the Vikings, and let's say we swap him with St. Brown from Detroit, their best
Okay.
receiver. Do you
Okay.
think Kirk Cousins and Darnold and that has the big years like they have without Justin Jefferson? Do you think he's a
St. Brown's
large
pretty
part
damn good.
of this?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
But-
Kirk had great big numbers in Washington with a lot less than I'm on St. Brown.
Well,
Kirk
saying,
had great
dude,
numbers when JJ was injured without St. Brown. Hey guys, but let's get more towards something a little more contemporary again. We've been talking a lot about JJ McCarthy tonight, and we've got another guy who's going into his second year who was a first-round draft pick last year. What are your expectations for Dallas Turner? Shaq, lead us off.
Shit. My expectation for Dallas Turner to at least have double-digit sacks.
Ooh.
Just minimum. Minimum. He needs to have double-digit sacks.
Just running
I
that back.
want him to show that the reason we picked him in the first round is because he could get a pass rush all on his own. Forget the fact that we have all these pass rushes on defense. I want him to show that once he's on the field, you need to worry about where's Dallas Turner. That's the reason you trade up for a draft pick in the defense. And when he's on the field, I want offenses to say, where's Dallas Turner?
A bench warmer bust doesn't record multiple sacks in an interception either. So go fuck yourself, Kakistan.
I think my expectations for Dallas Turner is more than 15% of the snaps. 15% last year was rough to see for what we traded to go get him.
Cody, you got to remember, we got Grenard and Gank on the edge.
Yes, we got those guys, right? But we didn't know who those guys truly were.
And Van Ginkel was kind of an injury habit, a foot injury habit, and he just happened to not get injured and play great.
And an all-pro level.
But if one of them
I
goes
think
down-
they expected Gennard to be what he was. I mean, they paid him $20 million a year, so there was
Yeah.
no mistake with that. But to that point, we let Patrick Jones go, so there is room for him to get his snaps.
For sure.
Good 20
Competition breeds success. I want him to go out there, learn how to be a pro, and make himself to where they have to put him in. He's so good, have to put him in, and then prove himself. There's compete.
His snap
I
share will
think
go
we-
from 15% to 24% like Patrick Jones, unless he can unseed a second-team All-Pro.
I think his snap count goes way up when they finally do the smart thing and move him to safety.
Are you saying Turner is a bust because of that Rams to lineman?
No.
Please.
So the point
I'm
is,
not any of you guys.
Don't give him his argument, Link.
if Turner, if
Right.
he does all these things, like, think about it, he shouldn't be the main option on the defense. So, like, him being elite, we could have a great pass rush just by him, always getting the pressure, which probably going to lead to sacks. I don't think he's going to take Patrick Jones' spot. I think he have to, it'll just have to be a different package where we have Dallas Turner on the field and we have all big linemen on the D line. And, just take off one of the linebackers, the middle linebackers, and have Dallas Turner on the field, blitzing or dropping back and playing coverage. Just find a role for him. He's athletic enough to be a linebacker, pass rusher, or,
It's super crowded, and it's not a bad thing either. Having a super crowded edge,
No.
that's a really
Competition breeds success.
yeah.
Yep.
More importantly, having depth at one of the most important positions on the field in case injuries do happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody like God forbid, one of our starting two gets injured. Having somebody really good coming in behind them is not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah, we have depth at a position. That's an original. Have depth at a position. Great. I mean, that's awesome. Hey guys, I gotta get going. I love coming on here and talking Vikings with you guys. It's like sitting at the bar and having a beer with your buddies.
Thanks for joining
Cheers.
us, Bass.
Cheers.
Talk to you guys later.
what's your expectations
Nice seeing
for
you,
Dallas Turner, Keith?
I mean, it's kind of a mix of what Cody and T-Bass said. I want to see him get more snaps and just be noticeable out there. Like, I don't have like a stat like 10 sacks. I mean, I guess 5 or more sacks would be something where I'd be like, all right, okay, like he could do this. But it really depends how much he plays. I just want to see him out there. I think the biggest thing that we had a problem with was he was getting like 4 to 5 snaps through like a 3-game run. It's like, okay, I get that we have these good players on the edges, but you're telling me he can't get out there for 15 snaps? Like, he's getting single-digit snaps. Like, that tells me that he's not showing that he deserves to be out there. So I just want to see him showing that he deserves to be out there. And I just want to see some plays that we remember, like memorable plays, like not just the interception where Fish wants to put him at safety. I want to see him make some stops in the backfield, make a couple sacks, just make some plays. So that would make me happy, feel like it's going in the right direction. Because again, he's still only 22. He's young. So I'm not expecting him to go out there and be an all-pro. I just want to see him look like he belongs out there.
Fuck, he's younger than me.
I want to see him sack
you wasted your life.
Williams 3 times at home and 1 time away. I'm
Hey,
speaking
Caleb
to the
Warner?
green room, fellas. Speaking to the green room.
Oh.
Hey, did you guys see that
Caleb
picture?
Evans.
Did you guys see that picture of Jalen Naylor?
You said Jalen
Redmond?
No, Jalen
Naylor.
Naylor, wide receiver.
Yeah, he's all buff now. He's like a tight end.
He's jacked. That dude is jacked. He's wearing a different jersey number too.
Number 1.
Yeah, number 1. That
That's
dude
right. Y'all thought Ty Felton were taking wide receiver 3 from this man.
He's seen the Vikings drafting Ty Felton. He's like, yo.
He's like, I'm going to be the biggest wide receiver 4 there is.
Yeah, I run a 4.
So wait till I have to set the edge of the block, fellas. Wait till I have to set the edge with the block.
He'll be wide receiver 3 for 3 games, right, Cody?
He's going to have to be
3 games.
3 games. That's big.
I mean, let's give him his credit. He was wide receiver 2 for 3 games last year.
That's true. He was.
He took the X spot and did very well.
Okay, where would you guys? Let's talk about this wide receiver thing. Where would you guys want Jordan Addison, his first 3 suspensions being? Looking at the first 3 weeks, you got Falcons, Bears, Bengals, right? You lose Jordan Addison. Do you think you can beat the Bears and the Bengals and go 1?
I think we can definitely beat the Bears.
Or
We
is
lose
it
the
better?
Bengals.
Let's say we don't win those games.
Can't
Is
beat
it
'em.
better to go 0-3 to start the year, or is it better to lose 3 games in the middle of the year?
Wait. I've seen this.
It's honestly better to lose them during that part.
I've
What
seen
part?
this play
Because
before.
even the Bengals, like they don't have a good defense, so I'm not worried about that. I worry about stopping them. Like I'd be more worried about Grenard missing that game than Addison.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
But also
That's the
starting
game.
out 0-3. Let's not go back 2 years ago now. That's not cool.
Yeah, it was rough.
Especially
Who's our
losing to the
quarterback when
Bengals.
we went 0-3?
Kirk Cousins.
Oh man.
Yeah, and what happened? I mean, Kirk Cousins finally was turning it on, but he got hurt, right?
Yeah,
So,
he tore his
yeah.
Achilles.
I don't know what's rougher, starting 0-3 or maybe losing 3 games in the middle of the year to the really good teams that we actually faced in the middle.
I'd rather beat the good teams than anything, honestly, because that means that we can ball. It's one thing giving up a tough game to a shitty team. It's another thing getting blown out by a good team like 3 years ago.
I would say, hey, can we not lose Jordan Addison for the weeks we play the Lions, Ravens, Bears? Because there's 2 division games within those 3 games. Like, hey, we can suspend him, but please don't suspend him during these. We'll take it here at this.
I think it's going to be the first 3.
Pushed out?
Okay. So, hey, fellas, just one more quick question. Other than JJ McCarthy, what's one player that we probably don't talk about too much that we really need to step up in order for us to run with the elite teams?
Tell us and tell us.
That's a good one. Because I think we gave him a lot of credit after that first season, and I don't think he necessarily lived up to that last year. Like he was a good player, but he wasn't having the same impact that he had that first year. I think we need to see some more of that. I think he could bring another element to his defense, and I mean, I think that game is there. So that's a good one.
Well, hopefully this year we don't have aging cornerbacks either.
We don't. We got Isaiah Rodgers, and he's going to be that guy.
We don't have. I mean, I like.
Yeah,
Griffin.
I would agree. We need him to be that guy.
I like Griffin.
He's going to be that guy.
I liked Gilmore.
Definitive.
But there's one issue I got with their secondary.
What's that?
Byron Murphy Jr.
I don't have an issue with him. I have an issue with how much we paid him, but that's like
that's my issue. We paid him for.
But that's done and done. Like we still built our roster for this season. Like I'm not going to hold it against him. So
yeah,
like I'm glad to have him.
But he was someone who was like literally like in the right spot, and he was also in the wrong spot a lot too.
Well, good thing we're going to sign the cornerback in free agency.
Fuck that. You got Mackay coming back.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that they really believe in Okuda.
Who?
Yeah. I really believe that they're like that's part of the reason that they didn't go after cornerback other than him and Rodgers. I think they actually believe he's going to be part of the rotation. I think he's going to be the Shaq Griffin of this defense.
Okay.
Which that works out great because it was very cheap. But I don't know. Fish, who are you expecting to step up?
Got to cool it down in here. That's a pretty hot take. Oh, fuck.
Javon Hargrave. We got to have that interior pass rush. That was the bane of our defense last year. Was we had to blitz to get the pressure on the quarterback.
For sure.
So we signed our 2 free agents, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, and I think the most potential for interior pass rush, and he'd probably be playing the outside defensive tackle position. He wouldn't be off the nose, but we got to be able to rush just 3 or 4 and get there. And I think he's the guy to do it.
That's how the Eagles were so successful last year. They only rushed 4. They never had to blitz. They could fully depend on their 4 guys up front, and then they can pull back in coverage. In which those 4 guys absolutely dominated.
I want to know who Cody expects to step up.
I mean, to me, the person that needs to step up, it's going to be on the offensive side. It's going to be Justin Jefferson's little 1B, right? I want to see. I get all the touchdowns Jordan Addison has had, right? But I want to keep long sustaining drives to go, right? I want more yards out of Jordan Addison. I want more receptions out of Jordan Addison. He's going to be missing 3 games this year, so he needs to bring his production way up more this year to me. If we have 1,000 yards from Jordan Addison and he keeps his 6 to 9 touchdowns, I think we are a serious contender in this league. I think it's the wide receiver 2 position, even though he does score those touchdowns, the drives aren't being sustainable, right? Because we always see these lulls, right? And I think with this quarterback we have this year, JJ McCarthy, we're going to see an increase of yards through Jordan Addison. So it's going to be Jordan Addison for me. I want to see a step up, at least in the yards.
Well, for sure. And I mean, shit, look at Chris Carter. He was the perfect wide receiver 2 to Randy Moss.
I agree, Cody. If Jordan Addison, with the way JJ McCarthy plays, I feel like all that stuff is gonna go up for Jordan Addison because what he does best is not even the deep ball, like the spectacular plays. It's the I'm open, throw me the ball, and I'm gonna get down or I'm gonna catch it because I'm open at this time. And as long as as long as we have a chemistry where I'm open and you can hit me, like as soon as I get open, then that's going to add to more receptions.
Because he can do it. Jordan Addison flat out can be 1,000-yard receiver.
For sure.
Last year, he could have had 1,000 yards last year if Sam Darnold didn't miss the slants. He would have had more receptions if he didn't miss the slants. That average would have went down. All right, Keith. All right. I think Jordan Addison can do it. He has to show that he is going to do it, though.
Yeah. The opportunities. He needs the opportunity.
He has had the opportunity to do it. There you go, Shaq.
And he's had the opportunity.
No, not really. Because how many times? Like I already said to you, how many times did we see him wide open on replays and the ball didn't get thrown his way?
I know.
That's
the opportunity is there. Throw him the ball.
And it could be also, since we got JJ McCarthy, since we got Justin Jefferson, it's kind of like, how do we balance the opportunities? Because, Justin Jefferson going to always want the ball. And then it's just like, we need some plays where Jordan Addison is the number 1 and Justin Jefferson is the number 2 option.
Yeah, see, what I didn't get about that situation, right? Justin Jefferson's double teamed a lot. A lot of the balls went to Jalen Naylor.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to that.
Quarterback's in Seattle now.
My take on pre-snap reads. I think maybe it might have just been a weakness last year, at least, because when we were watching those replays, sure, Sam looked at him, but then he looked him off and then he came open. If he might have had a better pre-snap read and seen the defender's position, he might have known I need to come to him second instead of first, something to that effect. And then he'd have caught him when he was coming open and delivered him the ball.
Yeah. I can see that.
What up, Purple Jesus? Been a while since I've seen that name. Skol, buddy.
So a player I need to see step up would be, I want to see Jordan Mason step up because we know what we're going to get from Aaron Jones. We saw it last year. He's going to give us great plays in the first half, and then he's just going to slowly trickle down to, he's not looking how he looked in the first quarter. So when
I got a Pro Bowl hot take on that, Shaq.
Jordan Mason should be fully energized and ready to go. Better than how we had it with Cook and Madison. Because, while Cook was, getting tired, Madison would do it here and there. But I want Jordan Mason because Jordan Mason, in theory, is the better running back than Alexander Madison. I want our running game to look better than how it did with Cook and Madison. So once Jones gets tired because he's up there in age, Jordan Mason needs to show, I could actually be starting for the Vikings if Aaron Jones was a starter.
Well, I will say I was in attendance with Robbie last year against the 49ers, and that motherfucker ran all over the field against us. What was it, like 150 yards, maybe a touchdown or 2, but he was just running all over us. And he only had 15 to 20 carries that game too, so it was a very ethical game.
It was great.
I remember I remember those first 2 or 2 or 3 games for San Francisco and watching Jordan Mason, and I'm like, man, I wish we had a running back like him. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how that worked out.
He was the hottest waiver.
KOC was probably sitting over there on the sideline like, man, I wish we had a running back like him.
I mean, me and KLC kind of on the same brain wavelength.
He was like, so that's what it's like to have a run game.
And Aaron Jones
That's what it's like to have a thumper that can do some work.
No, Aaron Jones was good, but you need two running backs in this
Two running
league
backs.
unless you have one of the top 3 running backs.
Now, are you guys
Adrian
worried
Peterson
about?
for
Are you guys
Derrick
worried
Henry.
about the workhorse load that we put on Aaron Jones last year? It trickled down this
No.
year.
I'm
I'm
worried
not
about him
it.
getting weaker in the second half of the game.
I'm not worried
Well,
about
that-
that now
yeah,
because we
that-
got Jordan Mason. Jordan
Yeah.
Mason's going to be what we expected Ty Chandler to be.
That too.
You know what's the best part about that Jordan Mason trade? You know what we pretty much gave up for him? Ed
Yeah,
Ingram.
he's-
Yep.
But Ed
Who-
Ingram, he was just starting to get good.
Who we
Yeah.
expected to cut to. Good at what?
Yeah. Knocking the ball out of the hands.
was
Yeah,
Kurt's fault.
he got past that. Well, guys, I think it's that time.
What time?
Uh-oh.
I've been
Anytime,
poking at
Luke.
him a little bit during the show, and so it's time to bring on my boy Reed.
Oh boy.
He's a Bears fan, so he gets a certain, treat him like he works at the salad bar at Wendy's.
Actually, I have more respect for
He
Bears
doesn't?
fans than Lions fans right now. So
Let's get him on and let's go over this schedule with him. What up, man?
what's up,
Ben
Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson.
Gentlemen,
BJ was good.
I am glad to be back. Thank you for having me back. I want to get that out of the way. I feel like we became a family last year, but I've been on here listening for the past 45 minutes, and I don't understand all the Bear hate, all the Caleb Williams hate. I just don't understand it. I thought we were better than this.
Hey,
Well,
so we're giving you the Bear hate because I'm pretty sure the back of our minds we know the Bears are a lot better team this year, and we
Mhm.
know that you're either going to take first or second in this division.
Thank you. But I won't believe that until I see it.
I mean, if
Me
you're
neither.
going to be fourth in the division, you're going to be a really good fourth.
I mean, so we talked about it last year when you was on. Well, not last year when we played y'all. A coach I would want to have, because we all knew Matt Eberflus was getting fired. How you feeling about that Ben Johnson hire?
I'm loving it. But it almost feels like it's every couple years we get a new coach and we say this is our year, and then we end up as a damn dumpster fire. So I'm gonna stay optimistic. I'm gonna stay positive. I think this year will be a learning curve. I do, but I think year 2 you'll see a huge turnaround.
I don't know.
Do you think he will literally change the culture, or will he break against the rock?
I think he's going to change the culture.
I think you guys were good last year. You just had dumb coaching mistakes.
yeah, for sure.
Every single
Exactly.
You
right?
should have beat us that first game.
Now you you should have beat us that first game. Now take away that dumb coach and you insert a really good coach, a smart coach. Now you
A
have
coach. A
Nah,
coach that I think is
hold
better-
on. I think that y'all were good last year, but then you had a defensive back screwing off on a Hail Mary pass, and y'all just got cursed afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Weren't
would
y'all
have
5-0 at
I would
that
have been
point?
done with his ass after that. I would have cut him. I would have been done with him.
I mean, weren't you guys like 5-0 at that point?
I think we were
4-1?
4-1,
Yeah.
and we didn't win again until the end of the year.
And Caleb wasn't even developed at that point. Yeah, I was just winning.
No.
And
Defense,
you almost beat
baby.
the Lions too, didn't
Zimmer.
Yeah. Didn't they take a last-second field goal?
Yeah, it was like second field goal.
you? Glaze on these balls, bitch.
You guys definitely got the best coach from Detroit, including the head coach.
Yeah.
Easily. Campbell's a fraud.
Think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
so. Okay.
Campbell's
How many
alcoholic
plays?
tendencies are going to rise up to the surface again this year.
I called him Campbell the red-nosed reindeer for a reason, or the red-nosed alcoholic.
Now he's going to make decisions, which he's not really good at making decisions like Eberflus
Yep.
without a
Yep.
coach in his ear saying, don't. I bet there's a lot more bad decisions coming from Campbell's mouth that Ben Johnson had to stop for the Lions.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
This year will show how good he is as a coach.
So I'll say this. The only thing I didn't like about y'all all season was that y'all took the Michigan tight end over the Penn State tight end. If y'all was going to go tight end, top 10, I would have took Tyler Warren and paired him with Caleb Williams.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
And Cole Kmet. I mean, they got another tight end over that's really good too.
Yeah, Kmet's very good.
Man, you guys are being really nice. That's cool.
Well,
It's hard not to be nice to Reed, man. Reed is just that kind of guy.
I'm trying to warm him up. We're hugging right now, but the knife is right behind him in my
I was
hand.
gonna say, yeah, there's a gun behind his back.
When they had Jay
Start off
Cutler,
and ask how you guys were feeling after that playoff loss to the
Well,
Rams.
I wasn't disappointed because Sam Darnold was our quarterback.
We did a 3-hour show after that.
Yeah.
I was very drunk. I was very drunk.
I did.
It's archived. You can go back and watch it.
I did not make it to the end of the show. I passed out. I was like, yo, I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, that's the season. It's over.
Don't never give me a Monday night playoff game again.
That was tough to watch.
The worst part about last season is we lost to 2 teams 4 times.
You won all them football games, but not a single play.
You couldn't beat 2 teams.
I mean, yeah, but the other teams we did play, at least Sam Darnold looked decent to.
Well, decent is a very.
He looked decent enough to fool the Seahawks.
That's why I always say, man.
Go watch the Falcons game. Those
playoffs
are great
are just an
elite games.
extension.
It's because
Playoffs
the Falcons have a
extension of the
shitty
season.
secondary.
Nah, he played great in that Falcons game.
Yeah,
Reed, the worst part about that loss was I had a truck the next morning.
Yeah,
I would have called in, brother. I would have called in.
I was hurt, but
we don't call in. We go run 6 miles.
No, Fish said he's not allowed to call him. He says pretty much death penalty.
Yeah.
Same.
This is true.
Same.
We don't have that country club job like you guys over there. Small store, Reed.
Hey, can we get a shout out to all the new people in the chat that we got to see? Angel Doesn't Senior. Hey, shout out. Hey, thank you for watching.
Hey, Skol, Angel.
Angel Dust out here. I feel you.
No one cares about this Bonk guy. He wears beanies too much.
Hey, I haven't worn a beanie in so long.
I've seen it popping up a lot of new names. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thank you for watching.
Cody, he might as well live in Canada, so he should be wearing beanies year round.
Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Before we get into this bear schedule.
Now, Reed, we've got a couple where, as a group, we've kind of predetermined your fate.
10-7.
But we're gonna let you. We're
10-7.
gonna let you call it out anyway.
I might be going week 1.
Nice.
Just because I want to go to Soldier Field.
So everybody that's in the chat, also, when we're going over this, whether we consider it a W or an L for the game, these are for the Bears now. We want you to comment. We want you to be part of this consensus. So leave a comment, W or L. And week 1, the Bears, Monday night, are hosting the greatest team in the NFL with the future Hall of Fame quarterback, the Minnesota Vikings.
Which we've already determined is a loss.
Well, go ahead, Reed. Tell us what you think.
I see us going 0-1 first game. I do not see that as a win for us.
I'm more afraid of that
fair.
week 11.
So how much alcohol have you had tonight, Reed?
Damn, Bears fans are scared of JJ McCarthy. I like it.
Sarah, don't do this whole 0-17 thing again.
You've got a whole new coaching staff. You've got a learning curve. I just don't see it. I don't see us starting off with a win for the season. And if you want to jump to week 2, I see that as a loss as well.
You think you're gonna lose at the Lions, huh? I'm gonna tell you what, buddy. I think that's a W for you.
So are we on to the Lions? Are we on to the Lions game?
Yeah.
All right, we got a W and an L. Chat, what do you got? A win or loss for the Bears against the Lions?
Win.
I
got a win.
Are you tracking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a win.
I got a win for the Bears too. I said it. The Bears are the second best team in this division.
Not even just the best team. It's just Ben Johnson knows Dan Campbell's active.
Oh yeah.
It seems like Reed's the only one who's giving them the loss.
I've been burnt way too many
the Bears
times.
and the Bears fan does.
I have been burnt way too many times by this team.
I get that, but you guys have a Super Bowl ring.
In '85.
More than the Vikings could say.
Hey, you're the last team in the North, I think, to make a Super Bowl.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or was it Green Bay in 11?
It's been Green Bay in
Green Bay in 11.
Yeah, in 11. Yeah.
Sir, you
Jason,
don't count
we're doing
anymore.
the Bears, and right now we're at the Bears at Detroit in week 2.
Which the Bears win that game with.
So they 2-0 or wait?
No, they're 1-1.
Oh, so they lost.
Despite what Reed would like.
So week 3, you're hosting the Cowboys, Reed. How you feeling on that?
That's an easy win. That is an easy win.
Oof.
Easy win.
Can you tell us why real quick? You like the matchup?
The Cowboys.
Chat, say Bears or Cowboys, chat. And Ben Johnson's got a win on that one, his first win of the season.
Yeah, you don't need to say anymore. It's the Cowboys.
His first win. I'll say this is towards the point in Caleb's development where he should know the offense, and it should be clicking to him if the offense is going to be good or not. Since it's week 3, and we already got the OTAs and stuff happening. So at this point, I feel like he'll have to show that he's that quarterback, and he could get it done. I don't think the Cowboys defense is going to know what to do when he's hitting on all cylinders.
Hold on, Sarah.
I got this as a win myself. If the game was in Dallas, then I'd have it as a loss, but I don't see Dallas coming in there and getting the W. What do you got, Cody?
See, I like what Dallas did in the offseason with their receivers, giving Dak more weapons. And I think George Pickens is a really, really good receiver. How does he mesh with CeeDee Lamb? I don't know. He's going to want to fight and bitch about targets. I had the Cowboys winning this because it's early in the year. Cowboys always try pretty good early in the year, and they fall apart as the year goes on. So I got Cowboys taking this W.
Fair.
I don't.
Michael Fish.
I got this as a Bears win.
Loss.
What up, Sarah?
Sarah, I'm not even counting yours anymore. It's going to be 17 losses.
No, it's not. Because I had the Packers going 0-17. So the Bears.
So she's going to be 2-15.
2-15. All right. Well, the Bears are going to beat the Cowboys. So right now they're 2-1. Not too bad.
Then next week they got to travel to Vegas to the Raiders.
Win.
Cowboys.
W.
That'd be a win.
That's definitely a win. I see the offense coming together, everything beginning to click, and especially getting ready to go into the bye, which I think is a horrible time to have it. But I do see that as the offense beginning to click, everything being coming together, and Caleb Williams beginning to show out.
Yep.
What do you got, Lincoln?
I got to win for sure.
Cody?
This is the game where the Bears are going to tell everybody why they didn't draft Ash and JT. Bears are winning. JT's going to put the ball on the field a couple times.
What is he, Adrian Peterson?
I'll say this should be an easy win for the Bears. If they lose to the Raiders, then I'll start questioning the direction of this team. Because I'm not. It's a slight chance that the Raiders is good, but this is a team the Bears should beat if they want to go into that path of making the playoffs and being an
That's
actual
funny.
in the NFC. So beating the Raiders, that's a stepping stone y'all need to justify y'all season.
Mark Fish, doesn't matter, boy. You got.
The Bears are going to win 3-0.
Oof, that'd be terrible. I couldn't imagine that.
Hey, that was a great game. That was a great game. I don't care what anyone else has to say. That was
a Nick Mullins game.
No, that was one of my favorite games of all time. I don't care what anyone
Shut your
has
mouth.
to say.
Just shut your mouth. I can't even take that.
I feel like I need to rewatch that game again just to remember.
Don't do it.
No, you don't. No, you
just go watch the '98 NFC Championship instead.
I have.
I know. Do it again. Don't watch that one, Sarah. For fun.
Win.
Raiders or Cowboys? I mean, Raiders or Cowboys. Raiders or Bears?
You got
I'll
vodka in that
give you a
glass?
win. Just so you won't get on my ass about 0-17. I'll give it a win.
All right, we won't get on your ass then for 3-14.
So I got the bye.
And they got the bye?
I got the bye week lost.
No, yeah, I got the bye week winning.
Caleb Williams didn't get injured like skiing or something.
Oh, come on.
He's gonna get the Ken Griffey injury. He's gonna get the Ken Griffey injury. Fucking slipping.
I'm not even knocking. I'm not knocking on wood either.
Oh.
I don't pray for it. I don't hope for it, but I am putting it out there.
I'm knocking on a stud. That's
We
good
knock
enough,
on
right?
wood for that. We knock on wood for that. We
Yeah,
don't.
I'm
We
not
don't.
gonna
It don't matter. They're going to lose when they have to go to Washington after the bye.
Ooh, Washington.
That's a
Command-
payback game right there.
Lost.
That's an absolute blowout. We blow them out.
No.
Oh, whoa.
That's what I
We
like
blow
to hear.
them out.
I want
We
to
put
see
the
that.
foot on the damn throat and we blow them out for last year.
In Washington on Monday night.
Yeah, another Monday night.
Oh, that's
game.
right. That was that Hail Mary game.
Yes.
Their
I'm
season's
putting up.
gonna
If I'm Ben
I'll be
Johnson,
right back, but
I'm
I'm still
putting up
listening.
60 on them.
Yeah, lost.
I'm going to say this. It was a stupid mistake that the Bears lost that game against the Commanders, the same Commanders team that beat the number one team in the NFL in the playoffs. Talking about playoff seeding and stuff, right? I think the Bears will take advantage of this and beat them because they don't have a head coach anymore that makes dumb-ass mistakes while in the game.
The
I
Bears
gotta see
got
the
a
loss.
lot better. Washington got marginally better, but it's at
Every
Washington.
year the Bear got much better. Only to show what?
They
Nothing.
lost Dexter Lawrence though to us.
Jonathan
No,
Allen.
Dexter Lawrence is not with us, and he was never with Washington.
I wish we had Dexter Lawrence.
Wait,
Jonathan
not
Allen?
Jonathan Allen. Yeah. Sorry. Fuck. I wish we had Dexter Lawrence too. Why was that name in my
Fish,
head?
was that a win or a loss for you?
I'd say I think Chicago going to lose.
Yeah, that's an L.
Wait, Robbie said Redskins are much better. Robbie, they lost. They lost by a Hail Mary, the Bears, against that Washington team. How are they much better?
Because one team went to the conference.
They went there.
They drafted well. Okay.
They drafted well. So did the Bears.
I think it's an L for the Bears, yeah.
Well, the
right,
Bears drafted a tight end when they didn't need to.
So that's going to as an L. So right now the Bears are sitting at 3-2, respectable.
Next.
Then they go back to Chicago and play the Saints.
Dub.
Next.
Easy win there.
Next.
Statement game.
Easy
Yeah.
win.
For who? Fish?
Oh, that's a win for the Bears.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, Robbie was saying a W here.
Yeah, that's a win.
All right, we won't spend no more time on that one. Ooh. Now you got to go on the road to Baltimore
And
That's
we
an
get our
ass
damn
whoop.
teeth kicked in.
That's not even a loss. It's an ass whoop.
Yes. We get our
W.
teeth kicked in.
I might go to that game.
W. I'm calling it a W.
It's an FFL, a fat fucking loss.
Nah, I'm calling it a win.
All right, so far I got a win for Lincoln. I got a loss for Cody. What do you got, Reed, on this one? Baltimore.
we get our teeth kicked in.
Oh,
The Ravens aren't that good.
the week 7 is usually when they turn it on. They usually start a little bit slow, and you think, oh man, they're bums this year. Then all of a sudden they run off 5-6 in a row. Lamar starts doing some stupid
Jackson
shit.
running all over us.
Wait, the Ravens aren't that good. They just have a quarterback that's won it the MVP 3 times, been in the conversation every single year. Has been.
How many playoff wins he got?
It doesn't matter.
We're not in the playoffs yet, though.
How many playoff wins he got? How well does he perform in the playoffs? Let me
We're
hear
in
that
week
again.
7, brother.
I'm just saying.
What do you got, Shaq?
I might go to this game since it might be down the street for me. I got this as a loss for y'all only because I don't see y'all offense being able to, handle that Ravens defense just quite yet under Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams' first year. Maybe y'all had a running back where y'all could run the ball and then take pressure off of Caleb. So,
but we don't have a running back. That's the problem.
That is your biggest issue.
So it's just gonna be Caleb having to make plays, and it's probably the Ravens got a veteran defense who's apt at making plays on quarterback mistakes. So it's just gonna be hard for Caleb.
So that's a loss.
Yeah,
I got the loss. Fish.
Well, at first thought, I was thinking maybe the Bears would be able to throw all over the field on the Ravens, but then I remembered who the Ravens drafted in the first round. And they really shored up their secondary with another potentially great safety. What was that guy's name? I can't remember. Anyhow, so I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be a loss for the Bears.
All right, so they're losing that one, and now they fall to 3-3. But it gets a little bit easier after that when they travel to the Bengals.
Loss.
Bengals.
Loss.
I think it's going to be a shootout.
Matter of fact, this might be Caleb Williams' best game of the season.
Well, yeah, for sure, because they had shitty defense.
In a loss, Shaq?
I think the Bears defense, they got something that could, maintain the Bengals offense.
Just one stop.
If it was a home game, I would go with the Bears. But it's a road game, and I just don't see them winning it.
Who is your running back? Who's your RB1 right now, Reed?
I don't know. They could put me in, and I could do a better job.
They could put in the corpse of Walter Payton, and he'd do a better job.
I think
you got Swift, you got Johnson. I think that's.
Oh, y'all is running back. Kenny Manungai.
Kenny Nwang.
Oh no, I saw him getting his ass chewed out. He ain't making that team.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You've got a better offensive line now, Reed.
True.
So Swift
Nwanga,
might be able to. I'm actually going to give you the W on this one, Reed.
I'm not. It's a loss. Cody?
I'm going to give him the W because last year DeAndre Swift with that terrible offensive line, it was just a terrible situation for him. You guys built that offensive line, all right, with some good run blockers.
I thought they built that last year.
Has a comeback year the way his second or third year in Detroit was for you guys in Chicago. I got it as a W. He's going to have a great game.
So Shaq, is this a win or a loss?
Against the Bengals?
Against the Bengals.
This is a win. I got it as a win. It's gonna be a shootout. It could go down as one of the best offensive games on both sides because Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, and then Caleb Williams and Derry should be an elite quarterback. I believe he could be elite, and he got the weapons. It's just who's gonna score the last touchdown. And I think y'all gonna get the ball.
Recognizing Caleb Williams as an elite quarterback. Thank you.
Sarah.
Loss.
That was the tiebreaker.
The Bengals start ramping up after week 5.
And she even put some thought into it. Okay? She didn't just say because it's the
She
Bears.
didn't just knee jerk it and say it's an L.
Hey, I'm looking at you, DeAndre Swift, because Alexander Madison he only had 9 carries. They were down by a lot, but he still averaged 4 yards per carry against that Bengals defense.
Win.
So now you get the Giants in Chicago. Reed, tell us about this one.
That's a win. I mean, Who do the Giants have? Do they have anybody?
Cakewalk.
They
No.
got the meanest defensive line.
They got a pretty good defensive line.
They do got a defensive line. They
Their
also got
front
depth
on
in
their
guard.
defense is
Kayvon
legit.
Thibodeau sucks ass.
That's
So,
a
Dave,
win.
you know how every team has that one inexplicable loss during the season where you're like, how? Why?
Yeah, that's the Bengals lost last week.
I'm putting you on an L on this one.
Oh, in Chicago, Fish.
Yeah, inexplicable. You're just like, what happened? Why? What happened? Like Tommy
I'm gonna
DeVito comes in the middle of the second quarter and just takes
Oh
over
boy,
the game.
we shouldn't say that. We shouldn't say that. I'm gonna say it's Jackson Dart that comes in, and the Bears still get the win though. Jack Dart looks good and is a starter going forward. Cody,
This is a W for the Bears. I mean, I think the Bears are a lot better. Yeah, I think there's going to be a turnaround like what we saw the Vikings turn around last year. We didn't have an inexplicable loss last year, right?
Yeah, we did.
Our losses came against divisional champions. So this
it's
is
inexplicable. We lost to the Rams on Thursday Night Football.
For
We're not
sure.
divisional champion. We are not. So
Well, we could have been.
Don't forget.
it could have been if they called that face mask.
yeah, we're not scoring. We're down by 10.
We were not
No,
down
we
by 10
weren't.
at that
We're
point.
down by 8.
Yeah, we were down by 8.
Down by 8. Yeah.
That was when the safety happened.
Hoping
Yeah.
on wins.
One possession game, Cody. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Shaq, win or loss against the Giants.
So that's another game. It should be an easy win for y'all if y'all want to be recognized in the NFC. If y'all like, this is progress. Y'all need to get these easy wins out the way so y'all can make it to the playoffs. That's the only way, because you don't want to be going against good teams saying y'all need to win this game versus, oh, even if we lose this game, we still secured in the playoffs. That's like I say, just making the playoffs for y'all would be a big stepping stone, and beating the Giants would go a long way. So I got this as a win for y'all.
For sure.
All right.
Win. W.
So that's going to be a win.
Where do they
Now
head?
has them at 5-4.
You didn't even ask me.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Very good.
Actually, I should just ask you because you have good answers. So, Sarah.
It's going to be a loss. Caleb's not going to be able to handle that defensive line.
Sam Darnold did it.
Might come down to a 4th and 8.
We won 28-6.
Who's their corners or secondary?
They don't have anyone.
They're not using corners. They're just rushing everybody on the line.
Fucking is Eli Apple still on that godforsaken team?
I don't think so, but it's funny because I was going to say that too, but I don't think he's been there for a while.
Yeah, last I saw he was on the Bengals.
Yeah, I think he still is.
They got Dexter Lawrence. Maybe we could trade. That's what the Giants need to do. Trade us Dexter Lawrence.
I wanted him last year before the deadline.
We could get him this year.
Loss.
No, win.
No, loss.
Oh, yeah, loss.
Loss.
We already have this as a loss. We have the Vikings sweeping the Bears.
Yeah.
No. We make the necessary adjustments after week 1, and we put it on you.
So we didn't make those adjustments either then?
Did Lee convince any of y'all to change your mind on this one?
No.
Well, and mine was a win regardless. I thought we lost week 1 though.
All right, moving on.
Overruled, Reed.
What am I at? 10-2 right now with Keith?
I don't know what you're at, bro.
I see you writing shit down.
I'm not writing everybody's individual one. I'm writing W's and L's.
I mean,
all right.
if it
So now you're at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Reed.
That's a win. I see Mike Tomlin on his way out. You can only go 8-8 for so long. I see him on his way out, and I definitely see that as a win.
Hey, I'll take him. After B Flow leaves.
I think
We
that's
got
a
Lincoln.
W for the Bears, too.
Lincoln's got a dub. Shaq.
I have this as a dub. Yeah, I could see y'all getting off this game because, I could see the Bears making the playoffs. So this is going to have to be one of the wins y'all do get.
I I'm gonna go lost because Aaron Rodgers is gonna show you that he still owns you one last time before he retires.
Aaron Rodgers
What if it's
hasn't
Kirk
signed with
Cousins?
the team.
Who? Aaron who?
Your
What
daddy.
if Kirk Cousins is their quarterback, Sarah?
Aaron Rodgers is probably retiring.
Mm.
If it's Kirk, then it's a win.
They got
It's a
Mason
win.
Rudolph. Don't sleep on Mason Rudolph. They say he's looking elite in OTAs.
Yeah.
So was JJ McCarthy.
Ooh. So the Bears are 6-5, but every time it seems like they get their feet under them, they got something like this. They go on the road and play a Friday night game after the
Friday
day after
afternoon.
Thanksgiving
Friday afternoon.
against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Reed, how you feeling about that one?
That's a loss. That's definitely a loss. Yeah, I don't even see that as a ball game. I don't even. That's one of those. I feel like that's one where we don't even show up. That's the game where we do not even show up.
Still in that turkey comatose?
We don't even show up. We might get a field goal off. That's it.
If they're feeling merciful,
Is there anybody on this panel that has this as a W?
no.
Michael
Super
Fish, you
Bowl
do?
hangover is real. Chicago's going to win by 2 scores.
Fish is drunk.
How much have you had to drink,
Hey,
Fish?
Fish.
Fish, you might want to save that hot take.
You'll all forget it by the time that game comes around.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
no.
I said save it for them.
Right now.
Hold on.
So they're 6-6 now, right?
I
Yes.
have this as a win for the Bears.
Okay. Well, that wasn't enough, but that's good. But why? You and Fish against the world.
I'm looking at
Come on, Shaq.
at this time in the season, I feel like Caleb Williams gonna be playing good, and I forgot they got Luther Burden. So
Back to back, Shaq. No retreat, no surrender.
Don't get me
Shaq,
started.
if you don't want them to win the division, you need to have this as a loss.
They can win the division. We about to win the Super Bowl. They can have the division. Give me the Super Bowl. We're good enough to win enough games to, if we don't have the bad Minnesota luck and we just play how we should play, it doesn't matter what Chicago do. They can have a good season and we can still win the Super Bowl.
All right. So after that tough loss, it gets a little bit easier when you guys travel to Lambeau and play the Packers.
W.
Serious, guys?
Seriously, because I think the Packers. This is when the Packers will start slipping. And I said it that we were going to knock the Packers out in week 17. We're going to be the winners of that game, and that what knocks the Packers out. So the Bears have to win this game in order for that to happen. Bears W.
I agree.
You got a W, Reed?
W.
I called him Lee earlier. I just realized that. What do you got, Shaq?
Loss.
What's their record right now? I don't remember.
6-6.
That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Stop trying to hedge that bet, Shaq.
I got them at like 12-3 right now, Shaq. Don't worry.
I could see this as y'all might lose. I could see the Packers having y'all number because for some reason I don't think y'all get not this year. I don't think y'all get past the Green Bay hump because
They have Jordan Love as
it
quarterback.
takes us a while to beat Green Bay. So
Look how we ended the year last year.
Didn't y'all smoke them?
Yeah, you beat their backups
Well,
with like a field goal at the end or some shit.
we can't sleep
It's a
on Green
win.
Bay.
I'll
We
take
gotta
it.
give Green Bay their respect. So I can see this as y'all splitting.
I'm sleeping on Green Bay with the fan on.
well, you don't sleep with the fan on to begin with.
Doing it comfortable.
So you got the Bears winning, Fish?
Got the Bears winning.
I got the Bears losing.
Packers are mid.
You have a
They
concert
only-
you need to go back to.
They had one divisional win last year. That's it. They're gonna have 0 next year. This upcoming season, I mean.
Bears lose and go to 6-7.
Yeah, you're out.
You
How do you
got
feel
that,
your
Cody, it's a wrap?
season ending now? Your season's ended. It's basically you're done.
They can still go to the playoffs.
All right, well, here's your chance. Here's your chance to get things back on track. I can see some wins here. You got the Browns in Chicago.
This is where we beat Shadur's sorry ass, and we put a whipping on the Browns.
Bold to assume that he's gonna start or even play.
Yeah.
By this time of the season, I guarantee you he's probably going to be playing.
There's
and
another
they'll
quarterback
feel
ahead
like
of
he should
him.
not even be in the league.
There's another quarterback ahead of him yet.
So, Lincoln, who you got?
I got the Bears losing. Stefanski, he's going to show out.
I want this to matter. Sarah, you got the Browns or the Bears?
I got the Browns.
Oh, wow. Disrespect.
They have good defense.
They have a good defense and they have a solid coach.
I mean, I wouldn't call it an upset. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
but
it's not an upset.
I'm giving the Bears the win on this one. But I'm not saying if you think the Browns are going to win, it's disrespectful. What do you got, Cody?
So the Bears are 6-7 right now. Playoff dreams have been wiped out last week. What are you playing for? Pick at number fucking 18.
10-7. You there?
You're picking at 12 now. You're gonna look at it. You're gonna be competitive like you were last year. You're basically in the same boat as last year, so you're gonna be competitive still. You're gonna try to win games. I think you're guys gonna lose because I think it all matters about the draft pick now.
Cody, hook, crook, or pocketbook, the Bears have somehow managed to pick first the last decade.
Right.
So
Tell me about
trading and doing whatever.
Hey, 6-7.
Bears.
6-7. After knowing that, you're pretty much out of the playoffs after a loss. Your motivation and dreams is down, right?
Nah, every single one they can win. They can win out 4 and go into the playoffs with a head of steam, and I think they will. So all 4 W's for me, Keith.
You got a W on that one. Shaq.
I have this as a dub. They should beat the Browns. Like I said, it's the progress. Like I could see the Bears being a good team in the NFC, and beating the Browns while they're rebuilding, it's a mandatory for y'all. Y'all might not get a playoff win this year, but I could see y'all beating the Browns.
They're not even getting a playoff game now.
Norris, what do you got? You got the Browns, you got the Bears. Jason, Browns or Bears? See what happens when I ask Sarah early?
This is what happens when you give up the Hail Mary, your season collapses.
Yeah, but see, he's been promoted to Pope. He's not there anymore, so that's not going to work.
Can I make that a hot
Barber.
take? He gonna be at the first Bears game?
I might be. Fuck it.
You might beat the Pope.
You missed out, Shaq. The game the Pope is going to attend is when the Saints come to Chicago.
Ooh, Barber says
when the Saints come marching in.
Wait. The St. Paul Saints?
No.
None of you guys get that.
Yeah, I did. I said no. Well, we're still at a tie.
7-7.
All right, I'll switch mine. It's going to be a win for the Bears. It's the fucking Browns. Still the season's over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, 7-7. Moving on before anyone else says something. Now you get Green Bay in Chicago.
Win.
That's a dub.
Yeah.
All we do is win, no matter what.
Reed?
Home game in Chicago, that's a win.
That's a win.
Fish, you already said
we
W.
need that when we're trying to make the playoffs. We need that win.
I'm giving them the win. They're getting the win.
They're definitely getting the win. Yeah.
For sure.
So that gets them to 8-7, clinging to that playoff right now. You know, they need to win out and get a little bit of help, but it's possible.
Wait.
Yeah, there's a team coming up that it's going to say no.
Before we continue, which one of you guys?
Wait, why, Cody? Wait, Cody, why? Because we might have already eliminated that team if your hot take comes true.
Yeah.
I was going to say that 10-win team.
Yeah, but they already know where.
Yeah, but see, Dan Dumbass Campbell will play to win with nothing.
Yeah.
On the line.
They're both picking in the same range right now.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They got to come here to California and play against the San Francisco 49ers, which I don't know what that team's going to be, and especially don't know what they're going to be in Week 17.
Win.
That's fact.
I'm going with the win.
Yeah, I'm going with the
That might
win.
be a win.
Brock Purdy going to show out.
No, the Bears always beat the Niners for some reason.
They got the ass whooped last year by the Niners.
That didn't count. I'm talking about the year before.
I still think the Bears are clinging on. They're going to fight. They're going to do really well. They're going to take the W. And, yeah, we'll move on to next week with this one, right?
You got to win, Reed?
I got to win. We're trying to make the playoffs, man. I got to win.
I'm going to give you guys a win. Fish already gave the win. Shaq looks like he's giving the win.
I mean, I need y'all to beat them because,
Fuck the Niners.
only because the 49ers don't really have that much of an offense, I think, this
Hey,
year.
Reed.
They Brock Purdy, but Kale's going to show out in his state
When
of
I saw
California.
your schedule, Reed, and I saw your last game of the season, I said, this is the indicator that the league thinks you're going to do something this year.
It's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Because they got you playing Detroit on week 18. The league thinks you're going to do something this year.
Well,
So here's where we're at, fellas. The Bears are 9-7. They got the Detroit Lions at Soldier Field. It'd probably be a cold one too.
Fuck it,
Reed.
this game instead.
Reed's got the win. Lincoln.
Blowout win.
I got a blowout win as well because Dan Campbell is going to be shown that he can't coach for shit.
Shaq.
Yeah, this is a dub. Fuck the Lions.
Can't spell Lions without an L.
Yeah, you definitely can't.
Cody.
So I did say the Bears has a team coming up that they're not going to make the playoffs, right? The Bears are going to be that 10-win team in my hot take that does not make the playoffs. They're going to win this game. It's a meaningless game.
I got them winning. Sarah.
I got them losing.
Just for fun. That was just for fun. Fish got them winning.
No,
so.
I got them losing
Yeah, but
because Dan Campbell's not
I've got something I want to add to this.
Uh-oh.
Alcohol actually helps accelerate hypothermia.
It
And
does.
Dan Campbell will have to leave the game in the third quarter because he'll be experiencing hypothermia conditions. Because he'll have probably put down a fifth of vodka during the half. It's a win for the Bears.
I don't think he's going to let the Bears get into the playoffs, so he's going to make his guys play.
We've got to get into the playoffs because we need money for the new stadium.
That's going to be a sad thing.
10 wins and doesn't make it.
Robbie, you can't spell ends without the W. At that point, you can say the same bullshit with the Vikings.
So, Reed, I'll ask you this. Who do you have coming in last in our division?
The Lions.
The Lions.
Ooh. You think Detroit?
I think a lot of people are expecting that collapse, and I do expect to collapse. I don't know if it fully happens this season. I think last week when we did this, I think we only had the Packers win like 8 games.
I don't expect it to be a giant collapse, though.
It's gonna be a gradual, and then the floor's just gonna fall out.
Well, I think at the end of the year they're going to have more than 5 wins at dead last.
I'll say
So
this
you got
also.
6-11.
I mean, they're basically replacing their whole coaching staff. I just don't see how you survive that.
Yeah, I mean, it's that brain drain is real.
Tanya.
For sure.
And Lions fans are being delusional. They think it's not going to matter because they've still got a great roster, which will keep them in competitive. But
Y'all
that brain
see
drain
Aiden
is real.
Hutchinson run lately? Have you seen him run? He lost a step. Aiden Hutchinson.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. So the team is really good. The Bears are really good. Bears fans are out there. They're like, oh, we didn't have half our team the whole year, still won 14 games. Yeah, you have really good players, but who is managing those players is what you
Ben
need.
Johnson and Aaron, God, I can't think of his last name.
Aaron and Glenn were managing
Yeah,
those.
Aaron
Aaron
Glenn.
Glenn, yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah, they're both gone. Lions won't be good.
They be all right.
I expect the Bears jumping though.
The Lions will be in every single game they play this year. They'll be in it.
For sure.
I don't think anybody
And we're going to lose in the first round.
Not denying that, but
Can
the
they
Lions
get blown out one game?
Huh?
Can they get blown out Christmas?
Yeah, they can.
Can that one not be the close game? For my kids' sake.
He's like ready to throw the tree out.
I thought
taking
you
them back, taking these presents back. But
I don't get where Robbie is.
Wasn't
saying
that a Taylor Swift concert?
They got an overhyped quarterback in Chicago. Caleb Williams threw 20 touchdowns to 6 interceptions with over 3,000 plus yards.
I think he was talking about Jared Goff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think he's talking about Caleb Williams. He's been dogging him the whole time.
Either way, Jared Goff is the more overhyped quarterback. Overpaid.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I think he's the most underhyped quarterback.
Now I give Jared Goff some props. He did have some weird elite games where he went like 20.
He had Kirk Cousins games,
but Kirk Cousins never played as good as Jared Goff.
He broke Kirk Cousins' record.
There you go. He broke Kirk Cousins.
That's exactly what Jack just said. Kirk Cousins never played as good as Jared Goff. Man, if we had Jared Goff in 2022, probably win the Super Bowl.
No, not at all.
No.
Better than what?
Did
you forget that 2019 Super Bowl, Keith? 13-3.
He would have played better than Kirk Cousins did when we first signed the quarterback.
Super Bowl.
Check it out. All these quarterbacks we're talking about, they play good in the season, but not the playoffs.
Like Sam
the
Darnold.
Season doesn't matter, people. Playoffs, you're 0-0. You lose a game in the playoffs, you're 0-1. You're done.
I didn't say that Washington sucks, Robbie. I gave the W to Washington over the Bears.
I mean, you got to make the playoffs. Not every quarterback even get a chance to make the playoffs and become 0-1.
Well, Sam Darnold finally became 0-1.
Yeah, it took a great team.
Well, we're done with the schedule reading, so now all the Bears viewers have logged off. We're back down to 19 people.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey. You saying that to me?
No, it's not mine.
All right, Reed, you got any last words for us?
Playoff, we lose first playoff game. First round, we lose in the first round of the playoff.
Yeah, it's tough to play a playoff game against the Vikings at the bank. So yeah, you probably do.
Against us? Woo.
Fucking.
Hey.
Would you start watching the Vikings the last 15 years?
That's just like when I was born.
I know.
And we appreciate you, Steve. We really do. A lot of people could get frustrated, but you hang in there with us.
I didn't even know Steve was here.
Okay, Reed, holler at you, buddy. Thanks for joining us again.
Hey, thanks for having me. I look forward to this season because we're actually going to be halfway decent. And I know I've been very reserved here lately, but this season you're probably going to get the annoying ass mic. Because we're going to be good this year. We're going to be
save
good.
it for the show,
I'm
buddy.
all for it.
When you call me up to talk trash,
right
I'm going
back.
to be like, you save it for Thursday night.
Yep.
All right,
You will
guys,
be our
y'all
enemy
good.
week one.
All right, appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yeah, we'll have him on for the enemy, Skol with the enemy week one.
Harvin was an ungrateful punk. We had a shitty coach named Brad Childress.
I don't get why so many Viking fans had a problem with Harvin. Like, I know like he had some issues, but I don't think it ever really showed up too much affecting the team.
No, not at all. It was Brad Childress. It was all Brad Childress.
Offense sucked. I don't feel like playing for no reason.
Do you blame him? Our offense did suck.
He was like, it's either Adrian Peterson or me.
He's
Who
not
was the
wrong
quarterback?
either.
Who was the quarterback? Christian Ponder. He's like, get me the fuck out of here.
I said that immediately when I saw we drafted him. I'm a Florida State fan. I understand.
Well, I wish Percy Harvin even sniffed. He was the only year he ever sniffed close to 1,000 yards was his third year in, and he was still 33 yards away.
Who was his quarterback?
It doesn't matter your quarterback. You were a 12th pick in the draft at wide receiver.
Yeah, in his first year.
Justin Jefferson was number 24, and he still throws up 1,000 yards with Dobbins and Mullins and Darren Hall and Kirk Cousins as his quarterback.
And Kirk is better than whoever the fuck we had.
We had Donovan McNabb.
We had Brett Favre.
And Christian Ponder.
We had Donovan fucking McNabb.
We had Brett Favre, and Sidney Rice was better.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. That proves your point. Sidney Rice was the number one target.
Why is he the number one target?
Because Sidney Rice
he was a good receiver.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He moved from here and was ass. He was good for Brett Favre. That was it.
That was a good
Sidney
year.
Rice went to Seattle and he was ass.
But he was still good here. Did Percy bring up those same numbers when he went to Seattle as well?
No.
He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they both won a Super Bowl. They both won a Super Bowl.
He's a glorified kick returner.
Yeah, well, he was a damn good one at that too.
Yeah, you don't pick kick returners in the first round.
He got a ring.
He got a fucking ring.
Fuck Christian Ponder. I'm getting a ring.
I'm sorry. While Percy was here, he was a first round talent. He wasn't he wasn't a wide receiver one, but he was a weapon.
He was a weapon in many ways, whether it was on offense or special teams.
When Percy was on the field, he was dynamite.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't record 1,000 yards doesn't mean shit. Especially since he wasn't the number one receiver.
Yeah, Cody.
Okay.
Do you remember that Sidney Rice game against the Cowboys in 2009 in the divisional round? He was running all over the defenders.
We'll call that the Sidney Rice game?
Yeah, with Sidney Rice. I thought we were talking about Percy Harvin, so Sidney Rice was the better receiver.
Yeah, we talking about Percy, but going.
No, I'm just saying that's the reason why Sidney was the fucking wide receiver one. Percy was a great receiver, don't get me wrong, but Sidney, there was a reason why he was wide receiver one.
Yeah. So going to your next question.
It's time for the hot takes, ain't it?
Or around the horn?
Around the Gjallarhorn.
Go for it, Fish.
I'm going to lead us off. We're going to go counterclockwise. We're going to start with Sarah.
Thank you.
I'm waiting to end the stream so I can go back to watching my drama.
Oh, you're going to leave us?
Wait, this isn't enough drama here?
No.
Fair.
All right, Sarah, have a good night. So I'll leave with you, Lincoln.
Have a good night.
The of our short-term rental free agents that we've signed that basically got enough guaranteed money where it's like 1 year, do you see any of them getting extended to where they stay here a little bit longer?
I bet our center gets extended.
Ryan Kelly.
Yeah, I bet Ryan Kelly gets extended. Sorry, I have to look at the recent lists. It's been a minute since I've been Timberwolves only lately, but no, yeah, Ryan Kelly is. I see him getting extended for sure.
Okay. What say you, Shaq?
I could see Hargrave getting extended. Keeping a solid pass rush on the defensive line, having a pass rusher on that D line could help our defense go to the next level, so we don't have to always blitz. I could see Flores, if he stays long enough, falling in love with having Hargrave around to run that vision of his defense where he got pass rushes and you don't know where it's coming from, and sometimes it might not be 5, it could be 4 or 3, as long as there's pressure.
Exactly.
Cody?
So I see Gravedigger, B-Flow, and the Vikings know why they got him. They got him because of that divisional game against the Commanders and how he or for the Commanders against the Lions in that divisional game. He was the number one reason the Lions sputtered at the end because of him. And I think knowing that you play that team, right, you still play that team twice a year, he's going to get an extension. Is it going to be more than 3 years? No, I think it's probably going to be another 1 to 2 year thing, until that gas runs out on him. So, yeah, I think they're going to extend him.
I mean, I think all these guys have contracts that are more than 1 year. I think this is like the guaranteed 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Kelly's gonna be here more than a year. That was mine. So I think between all of us, it's pretty much Kelly and Hargrave. I mean, obviously, Unk brought up some good names, but I think all those other names are obviously going to be here. I think Mason's obviously going to be here more than 1 year. Rogers is obviously going to be here more than a year. He's probably going to be here for the rest of his career, shutting it down as an all-pro cornerback. So, yeah, I think it's Kelly and Hargrave.
I got an honorable mention, but I'll save it for a hot take.
Ooh.
I like this.
Is it Jalen Ramsey?
Oof.
No, we don't want him. We do not want him.
All right. I didn't have one, but I just got one because I thought of something. I remember it kind of pissed me off. So I'm going to go back a little bit and ask you guys. In 2017, if Sam Bradford never got hurt, would we have had as good of a season as we had or even better?
Better.
How so, Lincoln?
Sam made better throws. Case through fucking, how do I explain this? Case through fucking lifesaver balls for the most part. They weren't fast at all. Sam actually had a fucking great arm. He had a bullet for an arm.
So what did that arm get us the year that he played all the games the year before?
2016?
Yeah.
He didn't play in all of them.
Yeah, he did.
He got traded mid-season.
No, he
didn't get traded. Well,
he didn't play the very first game of the year that we won.
With who at quarterback? We won with Sean Hill. That says a lot.
We did.
No.
We played so that's because we had a good team. We had a good team, and Sam Bradford came in, and we went 8-8
until there was pressure.
Do you remember how it started out that year? 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0, then 8-8.
Yep.
But yes. Go on, tell me again how the way that Bradford throws the ball, we would have been better.
Better than Case Keenum. You also have to remember we had a fucking dog shit coach back then too that didn't care about the offense.
Same coach.
No.
Same coach. Shaq?
How did that coach get us in the championship game?
I'll say
his defense failed us.
This season we had Sam Bradford because he knew the offense better than Case Keenum. I feel like when we ran with Case Keenum and Pat Shermer, it was more so get the receivers open and have Case Keenum basically move with the pocket and throw it to the receiver. With Sam Bradford, he actually was running the offense. As long as the offensive line gave him time, he would hit the open receiver. That's how we found out about Diggs and Thielen. It's just the next year when we finally got a decent offensive line, and Case Keenum, who to his credit, he was mobile enough with our offensive line to be able to throw to receivers. But I feel like if Sam Bradford and Dalvin Cook was healthy, we would win further.
Cody.
So, check it out. Case Keenum was a flash in the pan, yes. Right? And tell you about Vikings history here. When a quarterback comes in, what happens? What do the Vikings do? What do the Vikings do? They rally behind that quarterback, and they support that. We just saw it last year with Sam Darnold. We saw it last year with Sam Darnold won 14 games. This team rallied behind him. Now, let's say if it moved on to next year, no, we ain't going to do that well with Case Keenum. Sorry, I don't think that rally is going to be there, right? The team went down and they played for someone all the way through. And I think they played for Case Keenum this 1 year. And no, Sam Bradford was not going to be the guy that take us NFC Championship game. I think we were destined to lose that NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. but I also think we are a better team with him because it rallied the team around him, just like it did in the past years with our backup quarterbacks coming in.
I agree with that, actually, for sure.
I do agree. You saw a difference on the field when Case Keenum was out there, like the energy, the players, like he was kind of like how Brett Favre would be out there and getting the guys going, smacking them on the ass, and you see like the guys out there, they're having a good time together and gelling, and like that actually means a lot, and that's why I continue to say. That's why I continue to say like Case Keenum was a good quarterback for the Vikings. Like it was a system fit, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't care. That's why I always say I don't care what he did elsewhere when people bring it up. He was good here. The team was gelled together well. Like why would you break that up? I mean, Kirk Cousins pretty much had the same team and went 8-8, and Sam Bradford had the team the year before and went 8-8. But right here in the middle, you had Case Keenum that won 13 games and went to the NFC Championship. But these other two quarterbacks are going to do something better, apparently. Fish, what are your thoughts?
We would have barely been above 500 if it would have been Sam Bradford. I, too, remember the 2016 season. Sam Bradford was a high percentage completion rate because he dinked and dunked. He took the short pass. That arm that you said he had, he never displayed it. He never threw the deep ball in 2016. In 2017, despite having the number one overall defense, there were a couple of games that Case Keenum had to go out and win the game. The pinnacle being the Minnesota Miracle. Sam Bradford would have never done that.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Bradford was just not quite as good Kirk Cousins.
And we're a weird franchise when it comes to rallying around quarterbacks.
And actually, Sam Bradford's arm was suspect ever since the NCAA championship game where he could not finish the game against Florida because he tore his bicep and couldn't even play catch during halftime with his dad. After that, his arm didn't have the same zip. That's why he played it safe. That's why he took the short passes.
Mm-hmm. Like we rallied around Sam Bradford when Teddy Bridgewater went down, right? We rallied around Randall Cunningham.
We had no choice.
He had to come in, right?
That Week 6 game against Philadelphia was one of the worst football games. That game as a product of football was worse than that Raiders game where we won 3-0. When Sendejo picked that ball off and did not make it a pick six, I said this game's over. And they were at the 2-yard line and couldn't punch it in.
Yeah,
it was god awful football that game.
Well, look what's happening this OTAs. What are we doing now? After a guy coming off injury coming in the game, everybody is there. Everybody's rallying around JJ McCarthy. It's a weird situation how we deal with quarterbacks, but we're that franchise that rallies around that underdog, that guy.
Can I circle back to that divisional game against the Saints? I'm not denying that the offense had to step up and rally us back to win with the Minneapolis Miracle, right? But I will say the offense didn't do shit that second half.
They shouldn't have had to.
You're up by 17. A 3-score game in the playoffs is nothing, especially when you have a half to play. Look at the fucking Texans a few years ago. They were up 24-0 to the Chiefs in the first half. What happened? They got blown out by 21 points. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that the offense didn't bail out the defense, but also the offense left the defense to dry in that divisional game as well.
I mean, play calling more conservative with a defensive head coach that like to run the ball.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So how are you going to put that on Case? I mean, Case threw for over 300 yards.
Mm-hmm. And you have to make it – the quarterback has to make it exciting if you're going to rally around him. I think with Sam Bradford, when we were trying to rally around him, the game wasn't exciting.
No, for sure.
It was 70% completion rate.
It was a very conservative game, for sure.
Yeah, and then it lost its feeling, and we dropped from 5-0 to
8-8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, you got one for us?
Yes, I do have one. All right. So the question is KOC going to bubble wrap JJ McCarthy week 1 prime time? Like, is he going to make the game very conservative for him, or is he going to allow the kid to go out and play? And anybody can answer this.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. Oh, sorry, Fish. I was gonna jump
Go
on
ahead,
and
buddy.
we'll go around the Gjallarhorn. I'm gonna say no. I do think like he might keep the play calling kind of simple a little bit, but no, I think he's gonna make him run. I think he's gonna, the same way he did this season. Like he's not gonna bring out everything he has in week 1 anyways, but I don't think he's gonna do anything out there like I need to protect this guy. Like I think he's gonna go out there and let him play. And like you said, like you didn't want him to baby him last off season, so I mean you're kind of bringing that back. But no, I think no way like that he's going out there just trying to protect him and like, oh, make sure you go down or anything like that. Like I think he's gonna let him play. Fish.
I think he's going to bubble wrap him, but it's not like a purposeful thing until he demonstrates the ability to do so. KOC has not demonstrated anything other than he wants a pocket passer. Look what he did with Dobbins. Dobbins tried to take off and run, and KOC said, no, we're putting the brakes on that shit. One hit, and he was like, no, you're not running anymore. And I think that he wants a pocket passer. Sam Darnold would escape sometimes, but he wouldn't escape up the middle. I think that KOC is going to say, this is where you stay. I don't want you putting yourself in jeopardy. Get rid of the ball. And that's how he's going to bubble wrap him. Just get the ball out. He's not going to want him to run.
About you, Link?
What about me? Well, I got to say one thing.
Uh-oh.
One thing only. There's a reason why McCarthy has always been involved in everything. In everything. Even when he was off the field, couldn't take reps, nothing, he was still involved. And that means a lot. Even on practice days where the players didn't expect him to show up, he was there. He wants to learn the game. He wants to know the game. We got a true QB1, and we just have to be ready for the future.
With that
so
being
Lincoln,
said,
just in case you forgot what the question was, the question was, do you think KOC is going to bubble wrap JJ McCarthy, or will he let him go out and play?
Week 1, primetime, Chicago Bears division, Monday Night Football.
Is he going to play conservative or let him go out there and let it rip?
Let him rip.
Let him rip. Why not? He can do it.
What about you, Shaq?
Yeah, I feel like if JJ McCarthy getting all these first team reps, KOC should let it rip off the rip, because the point is not to slowly ease him in. The point is to be firing off all cylinders as soon as possible, to the point where the NFL has to catch up. And before they catch up to how to stop our offense, we're way too far ahead. That's the only way we're going to be able to score touchdowns at will and possibly win a Super Bowl. While we have the unknown on how a defense can stop our offense, I say I want him to install the whole offense and then do what works.
How do you personally feel, Cody?
I personally feel it's going to be Monday night, prime time, the lights, the stage. KOC is going to let him go, right? I think he's going to let him go because the kid's had a whole year learning the playbook. The only thing he has to learn is timing to his receivers. And there's a guy that Shaq brought up in our little messenger group about how he's throwing the ball and it was behind him a little bit. Yeah, because he's learning the timing. He's finally learning the timing with these guys. He knows the plays. He knows where the ball needs to go, as you can see during those passes that he had in OTAs, right? Because he's 16 for 17, 6 touchdowns in that first, because he knows where the ball needs to go. The ball's just not quite
OTA
there.
MVP.
Yeah,
MVP.
The ball's just not quite there, right? Because the timing is off a little bit. And he knows the playbook. He knows where the ball needs to go. When the timing gets there, that's what we're going to see, a huge JJ McCarthy improvement.
Yeah, I think it's funny that people are like making a big deal over like that one pass that was kind of thrown behind JJ. It's like, come on, bro. Like Mahomes throws passes behind receivers. Like not every pass is going to be freaking perfect, but you got to look at the collective. So
he's just learning.
Hardest throw a quarterback can make, an out route. He's a little bit behind him.
Well, you can
What's up,
see
Big Vic?
in his
Now
first
we got good
OTAs.
pressure.
Did anyone watch Sam Darnold play last year? He
Nope.
overthrew, underthrew,
No.
behind
Well,
threw.
If you watched JJ McCarthy's rookie OTAs last year, he had a lot of balls go in the dirt because he didn't know where the pass was supposed to go, so he just threw it. It was so low in the dirt because he didn't know. He knows the playbook now, and we're seeing it during these OTAs because it's going to the right receiver. The timing is just off. That's because
I don't buy this either. But I mean, I think a run game helps any quarterback, but I don't think it's special to JJ McCarthy that he's going to need a good running game to excel. I'm not buying that.
I don't think he needs one.
He don't.
But
I
you know
mean,
what the good thing is?
look at what Jim Harbaugh did with Justin Herbert, who is a great quarterback, right? Fish. His passing numbers were way down because
he doesn't
likes to run the ball. He likes to run the ball. So that doesn't mean that Herbert can't throw the ball, but he didn't because the coach, that's not his philosophy.
And look fabulous doing it.
And look very fabulous doing it. And JJ McCarthy in college, he didn't throw that much because that wasn't the coach's philosophy. Doesn't mean he can't do it. We have plenty of evidence that he can do it.
And even when he threw the ball,
we have evidence that he can listen to his coach and execute the coach's game plan too.
Yeah.
Jordan Love.
The great thing is that we acquired Jordan Mason, and between Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, we will have a great running game.
And the best thing a quarterback can do is know the playbook. That is the biggest thing for a quarterback. Jordan Love, he had time off. He had time to learn the playbook.
Yeah,
right?
4 years.
Yeah, then all he has to do after that is learn timing. That's why you saw Jordan Love come out in the field and immediately show an impact.
Is that why he still sucks?
Patrick Mahomes.
Whoa.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes out there. He had time to learn the playbook, and when he got out there, it's all about, hey, get the timing down, and he explodes.
But you know what Jordan Love didn't have, and what Patrick Mahomes didn't have? Virtual reality glasses.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, no, that's not true at all. They definitely had access to that.
Nah, they weren't doing that yet. They might have been doing that like for video games. They weren't doing that like in practice. They weren't doing that yet.
They had access for that for sure.
No.
But I'm not going to lie, guys. It was funny as shit, that commercial they had with Kyler Murray like 2 years ago, where he had the VR glasses in the locker room and he was throwing the ball and beaning it off everybody. That was great.
And I think that's where Sam Darnold struggled last year, right? Missing those opportunities, those passes, because he didn't really understand the playbook yet. So when the ball came out, it was, okay, I got my timing down because I know how to throw it to these guys, but I don't know the playbook. So I don't know, like I know what this half of the side of the field does. I don't understand what this other side does. What is Jordan Addison doing on this play? I forgot because there's like 6,000 different plays in this damn playbook. Right? He's running a slant. Oh, I didn't see Jordan Addison in a slant, so I didn't throw it to him. So I forgot he's running a slant.
Cody.
Well, I'm just saying. I think that you sit a quarterback for a year, make him learn the playbook first, and that's what sets a quarterback up for success. Timing will come later.
What do you got, Shaq?
My question or the answers to the question?
Question.
So my question is, what player that Crazy had his hand in picking, whether it be free agency, trade, or draft, that you feel like needs to step up for this team to win a playoff game?
Caleb Evans.
Current player.
Edwards.
Current, if I gotta say current.
Edwards. Our new guard.
Edwards.
Our new guard.
You mean Donovan Jackson?
Donovan Jackson?
Fuck.
Come on.
All right, sorry.
Go smoke another bowl, bro.
Hey, I haven't smoked weed in a fucking week.
Donovan Edwards and Dexter Lawrence on the Vikings.
Yeah. All right. No. I was thinking.
Cody, you want to take this one first?
I'm with Link, but it's not. It's gonna be Donovan Jackson.
Jackson.
I feel like even KOC knows about the Vikings offensive line. It hasn't been good since when Steve Hutchinson was here. We've always been throwing Band-Aids on it, and we've always saw our quarterbacks just get smashed. He wants JJ McCarthy to stand back there, kind of like a statue, and be able to throw the football. Because if he's standing like a statue back there and he has the protection, he has the time to throw the football. He's going to be a successful quarterback. And when he said it at the end of that Rams game, hey, I'm going to fix this interior offensive line, what's that Michael Jordan meme? He meant it. And that's what he did. That was the number one priority in this whole thing. And I think that if that was his number one priority, Donovan Jackson has to show up game 1 of this year.
Well, I think the obvious answer here is JJ McCarthy, but I'm not going to take that one. I'm going to go with Isaiah Rodgers, because to me, the cornerbacks were like our weakness last year on that defense. I felt like we got a good defensive line. We had good linebackers. Our safeties were good, but our cornerbacks were just either old or just not performing where we needed them to perform to be able to do B-Flow's defense. So I think a lot of it's going to fall on Isaiah Rodgers being better than Shaq Griffin and being better than Stephon Gilmore. So that's a lot on him, and I think he's going to do it. So Isaiah Rodgers, for me, he's the one that's got to step up and help that defense get to the next level.
Unless there's a trade brewing.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk that earlier?
No, we did not. We totally missed out on it.
It's all right. It's all right. Save for next week.
We got to talk about stuff next Thursday, too.
What about you, Fish?
Well, actually, before you said it, I was thinking Isaiah Rodgers. He was my 1A answer.
Where are you now?
Yeah, he needs
all
to.
Right.
He's got to. But I'm going to give you my 1B answer because Keith took Rodgers, Shaq, and that's Blake Cashman.
Oh,
fuck!
Again,
he's got to show up and show out
because
our defensive linemen, they're geared for the pass rush. Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, those guys are not necessarily known for their run defense. It's once again up to our linebackers to plug the gaps, stop the run. And Blake, he's that difference maker on defense. We talked about it last year when he was out. Even though his backup played well, it was noticeable.
For sure.
The difference in our defense. He's got to show up, show out. He's the one that can help push this defense up to top 10 status and make us a real threat.
Well, that and pace, for sure.
I still can't see him, but I mean.
All right, 2.5 hours. I think it's a good time for the hot takes. You guys agree? Let me switch this up. All right, let's go ahead and get into these hot takes. Who's ready? Oh, surprise. And look at the guys on my shoulders. Not okay. All right, Shaq, start us off.
Jalen Ramsey will be a Minnesota Viking before week 1.
You've been holding that all show.
Yes, I have.
That ain't a hot
take. I start thinking about these hot takes.
How is that not a hot take? Do you think it's going to happen, Lincoln?
It's going to happen.
I mean, I still got Asante Samuel, so.
If you were a fan of the Chicago Bears, did you think, and right now, if you were, is Jalen Ramsey going to be a Viking?
I'm not a Bears fan, so.
Yeah, so, okay.
I don't see it happening, so, I mean, I think it's hot. I think the only reason, like, Lincoln saying it's not hot is because, like, it's been talked about by people in the media, but.
It's fanism.
Yeah.
How is that not hot? You might not become a Viking.
No, I think it's hot. I think it's hot because I don't think it happens.
Yeah.
I think he's
Lincoln. Do you got a hot take for us?
Not yet. Give me a second.
Oh boy, yeah. Go boil your brain a little bit more. All right, Michael Fish, what do you got?
Sativa only.
Jordan Mason will have the most touchdowns for the Vikings this year.
Woo.
All right.
That's pretty hot.
That's pretty damn hot. I had Aaron Jones doing that last year. Then all of a sudden, Justin Jefferson decided he wanted to have a season scoring touchdowns.
And I appreciated him for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so Mason, most touchdowns. So does that mean that Aaron Jones ends up getting injured, or does Mason just hold to the goal line?
I have another hot take from before where I said Mason's going to make the Pro Bowl.
You do?
Mason's going to take over. He will be RB1.
Mine's super hot that Keith's gonna love.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you cool down a little bit because since he's on to the running backs, I'm gonna go ahead and go with mine, and that's it. The Vikings will have 3 running backs make the 53-man roster, and none of them are named Ty Chandler.
Bang.
All right, Cody, what do you got?
My hot take is even though the guy has missed time with injuries since his rookie year, and he's going to miss 3 games this year, right? And, he's missed time for injuries. He could miss time again this year on top of those 3 games. He is finally going to break the 1,000-yard mark, Jordan Addison. I believe Jordan Addison is going to have as good as of a season as Justin Jefferson, but he's going to play 5 less games.
I thought you were going to go to Jalen Naylor with that.
So, in a sentence, could you say what the hot take is?
Yes. The hot take is Jordan Addison will finally break 1,000 yards, even though he's missing 3 games.
Okay. I thought he was going to have a good season as Justin Jefferson, missing 5 games, and I don't want you to put that on record. I don't want you to put that on record because I don't want him to miss 5 games.
Nope.
Fucking knock on wood.
He hasn't broke 1,000 yards yet, people. Let's get to the 1,000 first. It's pretty hot right now.
All right, Lincoln.
You ready for my hot take? Well, I'm a betting man, and I suck at betting.
Mm-hmm.
We're missing the playoffs.
Wow. Cam just got down.
Who this man?
Thanks for joining us, Lincoln.
No,
Enjoy
wait. Let me explain myself. I'm a betting man. I'm a betting man, and I suck at betting. And I'm betting against the Vikings.
Dude, like last year you said we were going to win 15 games.
And how close was I?
Right. So now you said we're going to miss the playoffs, asshole.
He's trying to negative us into winning right here, Keith.
Yes.
He's trying to...
not everybody can do that, Fish. It takes a special power and a special talent and a special person. Not everybody can do that.
Wow. I'll say
I
going back will end in how the Vikings usually end. When you try to think negatively, you finally prepare yourself. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the Vikings have us hooked.
Keith, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, right?
Yeah. They don't want to beat me on a weekly basis, I'll tell you that.
What can I say? We're going to win the Super Bowl, but we're not going to make the playoffs.
Now that's a hot take. That's hot. I don't know how. Like, I'm not even saying what would have to happen for that to happen because it's tragic.
Has a team also made the Super Bowl?
I'm throwing the prophecy out there. We're winning the Super Bowl, or we're missing the playoffs. No in between.
Shouldn't be.
See, that's a little different than what you said. That's less hot.
Shouldn't be.
My bad. And we're missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he's going now.
Yeah, me neither. But just sometimes you just go with it.
You're goddamn right.
We're picking 32 or we're picking top 10. One of the two.
Oh, no. It's 32 or 28.
All right, fellas. Well, since I have to work tomorrow and it's already 9:30, we should probably get out of here.
Oh, you poor guy.
Oh, yeah, you poor man.
I still got my collar shirt on.
It's fucking 9:10 or it's 9:10 for you. It's 11:10 for me. I gotta get my fucking pajamas.
How is it 11:30 for you?
11:10.
9:10. Yeah.
I said 11:10.
He's in a
It's
20
2 hours
minute
and 20.
time
It's a
zone.
2 hour 20-minute difference, Cody.
That's something.
Well, no. I said Keith said it's 9:30 for him, but it's 11:10 for me.
Shit,
I told my wife I'd be done before 9:30, so we gotta wrap.
Yeah, hurry up.
All right.
Cody's like, I feel it.
I can already feel the
You
energy
can't.
from here.
I have to. You can't. All right. Final words. What do you got, Lincoln?
We're winning the Super Bowl. That's it.
But not making the playoffs.
No, we're winning the Super Bowl.
No,
Man, you can put that on a documentary.
Nostradamus.
We're not making the playoffs.
Nostradamus right here. Nostradamus. We're winning the Super Bowl.
Is it
What do you got, Shaq?
Nostra,
Thanks
fucking.
for everybody who tuned in tonight. You know, it's always a pleasure talking Minnesota Vikings. Thanks, Reed, for tuning in, giving us that Bears talk. Hopefully, Caleb Williams has a decent career for y'all. Hopefully not against us, but overall. If you're still here, you can always send donations at Let's Go on YouTube. Click the $, or you can go to Buy Me Coffee, and you can also donate to the Cash App at Let's Go $, or $ Let's Go.
Got to work on that delivery. What do you got, Fish?
2 hours in. I'm
For Vikings fans, by Vikings fans. Here we are yet again in the off season, having fun, talking football, making sense of this whole thing. And we appreciate every one of you that joined us, even you, Steve, even you.
Not me,
And,
though.
man, well, let's have some fun with this. Any donation that you make will go towards us getting to Skol Fest. We're going to go to the home opener, and we're going to have a good time with it. We hope to meet some of you there.
Hey, you better meet me.
Some of you, we said, not all of you.
Calm down.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Let's go.
Cody.
Hey, it's a Thursday, right? And everybody knows tomorrow's the start of the weekend. Don't do nothing stupid over the weekend. Don't find yourself in a Jordan Addison situation, right?
Don't drive.
Don't drive. Have a plan. All right, be good or be good at it. Two things I'm always saying. Or not. Let's go.
Take a boat instead. Don't take a car.
Take a boat, baby.
Take a boat instead. Like Stephon Diggs, right?
Hey,
only in
2.0, but he's by himself. He had it right.
Only in Iowa can you not get a Dewey for driving on a boat.
No, that's not true.
They can't breathalyze you, nor can they fucking test you.
All right, well, that's the end of our show. George Blunt, fuck Corey Perry. Everybody else, see you next Thursday. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.